taco, the death taco, the death taco, the death taco,
Welcome to the Death Taco Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and today I'm joined by Nick and Calvin. And today we've gathered to talk about the 2015 American found footage horror comedy, The Visit, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So you guys both went into this blind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely blind.
You had no recollection of it?
Never even heard of it.
You sent me the trailer and that brought me in because the first time I saw Catherine Hahn, she's the lady from Step Brothers who, that has that scene where she goes in the bathroom and
I was wondering where that bitch was from because I seen in her thing she was from Step Brothers. That's who that was?
yeah, and I was all in after I saw that. Ever since she humped that dude in the bathroom,
He's talking about the mom character from The Visit. She was the lady from Step Brothers that was trying to bang Will Ferrell, right?
Oh, the other
Or no, it was I can't think of the other guy's name, but the other guy. Now I remember when this came out, bro. I actually saw it as it was fucking coming out because I remember it had a big social media push. It was one of the first movies that I saw on Facebook that was advertised heavy as fuck. In the trailer, it was the whole thing where the lady's like, "Can you clean the oven, please?" That was the big marketing campaign for it, and I was like, "Yo, this looks fucking insane." So I think I saw it on Redbox or something right when it came out in 2015.
I don't know what happened to me then because I don't remember this movie. I don't remember the marketing. I don't remember the trailer. I don't remember anything from it. So.
Oh, dude, it was gassed up like crazy. And this is before Facebook group pages and shit. So this shit was just pushed really hard. I remember.
Okay.
I don't even recall ever seeing this movie on Facebook at all.
Yeah,
Do not
yeah.
recall any trailers or anything. Maybe I play too many video games, man.
Did it make it to theaters?
I don't think it did because I would have saw it at the movies, I think. I saw it at Redbox. So it was already a straight to video. Maybe that's why you guys hadn't seen it.
I can see why it went straight to video.
Yeah,
Just saying, but let's keep going.
So obviously everybody's familiar with M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Yes.
He was huge and he's still huge today, but I think his big thing was late 90s, mid 2000s stuff, right?
Yeah, because he had Signs early on, and then he went in and had that movie where I think it's called The Village.
The Village, The Happening.
And then Unbreakable as well. He had a huge run where he was one of the most famous horror directors out there.
Oh yeah, dude. After The Sixth Sense, he went on God mode.
Yeah, Sixth Sense was his blowout, I believe.
Mm-hmm. But he's had some terrible movies after that. You guys aware of them?
I know one because I just finished watching this on Netflix. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, man, and I didn't even see the movie just because of all the visceral hate I've heard about it.
Because it was dog shit, so.
That was a waste of time.
It was people complain because it was whitewashed. I don't give a fuck who played it, bro. They could have had all black kids play that fucking Avatar kids. And but it was just really bad effects, really bad martial arts, goofy ass story. And also the guy they had play Zuko was he's the guy from Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the main guy from Slumdog Millionaire was Zuko, bro. And it just did not fit at all for me.
I feel like Zuko needs to be a badass dude who can look like he can fight or something. That guy doesn't.
No, he didn't even cut his hair like that, bro. He was just the guy from Slumdog Millionaire. It looks like an Indian guy that works at a call center.
Damn.
I feel like it happens where people kind of hit a hot streak and Ben Affleck when he got Batman to direct it, you kind of hit the hot streak and then you take a step where you just can't handle it. It's just one step where you're just man, I'm going over my head and I have a movie that is just not going to go well. I think that's what happened to M. Night Shyamalan a lot during.
Yeah, I think that's the downside of starting out fucking on fire is it's really hard to keep that flame burning.
Yeah, that's why you got to have that mad respect for Quentin Tarantino, people that just don't.
The guy who just consistently puts out bangers, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, but like I was saying, he had another one called After Earth. That's supposedly I'm trying to paint the picture of what it was like before he put out this film. He did a movie called After Earth with Will Smith and Jaden Smith. You guys seen that?
I didn't know he directed it, but I had just seen trailers, never seen the movie.
People didn't like it, bro. I thought it was okay. Is it some instant classic? No, but it was decent. And so apparently he was he had done The Happening. A lot of people didn't like The Happening, but I fucked with The The
Happening was dope. I like The Happening.
Never saw The Happening, honestly.
It's the one where the trailers show where people are just spontaneously, it's a disease where you commit suicide in mass numbers. People do.
Jumping off the roof.
Motherfuckers falling off buildings. People are jumping into animal enclosures in the zoo.
Ran over by lawnmowers.
Every fucking suicide you can imagine. It's a public, it's instead of COVID, bro, people are committing suicides in public.
Bro, we still wouldn't wear masks. we be messing that up too.
Fuck them, bro. But nah, so like I said, those critically aren't well received movies. I fucked with them outside of the Avatar, but so it's 2015. I think he got a budget of like 8 million, which I mean, in Hollywood terms and for how big of a director he is, that's, you know,
Seriously, it's nothing.
right. So he did that, and I didn't know this was a found footage movie. I forgot this was found footage. How'd you guys feel about found footage movies?
I'm usually cool with it, though. It kind of takes me out a little bit because, you know, I've been working with like video stuff before, and I just like, you can't be like running with the camera and the shot be that good. I hate that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because like Blair Witch was like the whole movie was just like you're like on the Timberwolf, dude. You're shaking, and it was like kind of like did that to you. But this movie and other found footage movies kind of do the thing where it's supposed to be found footage, but it's like not
Fucking clear as day.
Yeah, you know, like stuff like that kind of annoys me.
I think that she's going to be a great documentarist.
Bro. I kept thinking that every time when she was talking in the background, like, oh, this is definitely M. Night Shyamalan holding the fucking camera, because this is beautiful.
And then we got Tyler, the Creator, in there, you know, the rapper.
Yeah.
That's the most scariest part of the movie is him rapping.
He's got heart, bro.
I give him that. He does have heart, man.
I don't know if we're gonna get to this, but I felt bad for the guy on the Amtrak train that had to sit with the kids and just listen to him rap, and he'd like pretend he was into it because his job was to get the kids to the station. He's just listening to this little dude rap.
Oh, it was his job, bro. I thought he was just some creeper just chilling with these kids.
I thought that for a second, but I know like when you like bring a kid on a plane, you can give him to like the flight attendant, and they make sure they get there. Which I'm hoping is at his job.
Yeah, but no, I was more, I think the sound more takes me out of it. Like, this sounds fucking incredible for just being a camera. Like, and there's no, like, nobody's mic'd up or anything.
Yeah, there's not even a little boomstick or anything on the camera. Like
nothing. But, no, so aside from that, is there anything you guys would compare this to?
I think that it has certain scenes you could compare, as when she tells her to get in the oven, you know, Hansel and Gretel, she's fattening them up, always feeding them, and then throws in the Hansel and Gretel thing, and wants them to get in the oven. I would never get in the oven. If someone told me to get in the oven to clean it, I wouldn't do that.
Dude, what this reminded me of a lot, I don't know if you've seen this movie, it's called The Orphan. It's have you seen that with Vera Farmiga? She's the main character, and they adopt a kid that
What's wrong with Esther?
Well, yeah, what's wrong with Esther? You know, so it's one of those movies where, like, you know something's wrong pretty early on, but you don't have any proof that something's actually wrong. And so you're kind of trying to figure out what's wrong the whole movie. And so that's why I compare it to, like, The Orphan, because it's one of those where you're just kind of, like, trying to figure out what's wrong with a single, in our case, two characters. But
that's actually a really good comparison because, I mean, similar to this movie and that one, there's a twist. And like what Calvin said is like it's Hansel and Gretel. It's definitely got the witch theme going on, very haggardly imagery and shit. Yeah. So it is a good comparison. And how would you guys summarize this movie without spoiling it?
How would I summarize it? Just like completely. Like,
this is something I like doing. I like just putting people on the spot. Go.
I would say this movie's like just. It's a lesson on why you need to video call people before you be sending your kids to people's houses, dude. That's what it is. It's just like you ain't seen someone in forever. Like you need to get on video with them and have a little more detail in your planning if you're going to send your kids somewhere.
I mean, I think if you getting into a fight with your grandparents, you're not just gonna you're getting into a fight with your parents, and then after such a long time, we want to see your kids. Go ahead. There's no problem there.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? Because it was like she thought it was her actual parents, so like it's not like a complete stranger, but it is at the same time.
But I think it was. I think up until a point, it was the actual parents that she was communicating with. I don't want to spoil anything yet, but
I don't even know, man. Like possibly, like for some reason, the beginning of it's kind of a blur for me. So you guys might be filling me in on that.
Yeah.
But no, I guess the way you'd sum it up is. Two kids go and meet their estranged grandparents. They have no idea really anything about them, but they want to see them. And the daughter's making a documentary, and that's the reason she's filming the entire thing. And something is amiss.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and actually start breaking down this movie. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I recommend everybody going to check it out, and then coming back to this part. But we're gonna go ahead and fuck up the visit, guys.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so we start with a woman getting interviewed. And she's talking about her failed marriage, a falling out with her parents. She hadn't seen the folks in 15 years, but she's been reconnected through the internet. Pause. Something I want to talk about real quick. So they're doing this like video chatting thing in 2015, right?
Yeah.
And the videos are fucking beautiful. Bro, I remember around this time is when I was like getting my first like fucking titty pics on like a flip phone.
Yeah.
And it was just the blurriest thing in the world. I mean, it got the job done. But let's be honest, guys, they weren't the clearest images.
Dude, I think you're mixing up your timelines because this 2015, like 2015 was my first year at KU was 2012, I think, and I remember distinctly because we went all our friends went to separate colleges and we were like on there, we were all Skyping each other and like it wasn't this crystal clear image. Don't get me wrong, but we were more advanced than that at that point. I think we weren't on flip phones in 2015.
Okay, listen up, man. I was exaggerating and you ruined my bit. I was comparing it to something, and you had to mess it up, all right? No, but I was late to the party. I think I did. I still had a flip phone. I had a flip phone still in, like, 2010. 2010, I was still rocking with the fucking flip phone.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is 5 years later, but, you know, you get the idea. The images weren't great. Everybody remembers chat roulette. Nobody could see the veins on a dick yet. So, yeah, so that's the only thing I'm trying to get across.
It was just the silhouette back then.
That's
you
right.
Didn't see the details back
You
then.
could just see, like, the motion and the wiggle.
That's all you need back then, though, you know?
That got the job done. But no, so anyway, so this woman's getting interviewed. She's talking about reconnecting with her parents. And she says they want to reunite. And that she found out there's some kind of counselors and they, like, help people, right? What was their job?
They volunteer.
Yeah, they were volunteers.
They were volunteers.
What you learn later is a psychiatric ward, but you don't really know that. You just think they're just helping out a hospital for the whole first like.
Or like they're some type of counselors or something.
Yeah, you don't know what they're doing, but you learn that like an hour and a half in, which you know would have been helpful to know as a kid, like early on. But I really like that scene though because like. One of my favorite things about horror scenes is like the hook, like the first thing, like slasher films easy. Like they just go in, you kill somebody, cut them up, first 5 minutes, you kind of get the gist of like why this dude's doing this crazy stuff. This one, I was like, how are they going to get us in? Because it's obviously going to be something where you're just going to be dragged out and there's going to be a twist at the end. And when she came on screen and kind of gave that backstory, I was like, all right, I'm bought in. I get it. I get why this is happening. She showed like the trauma of like why she wasn't going with them. They set up real quick, like you're going to go out to this farm. You're not going to have, you know, any internet. You're not going to have this and this. They put you on the island early. So I really like the whole setup and intro to this movie because it kind of just, it made me buy in and believe a little more than I should have, you know, like.
All I wanted to type for like the first 5 minutes for that part is exposition. She's telling you pretty much the entire backstory before we get into the meat of it, like you're saying.
Like in a really clean way too, where some movies, like, you know, everybody always makes fun of that, like first Game of Thrones episodes. He was like, well, as your brother or as your sister, people be saying that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this one just like really clean, you're in, and I really liked that part, and I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, they're pretty much trying to set up this world before we actually get integrated into the story. And something with found footage movies that I kind of like to judge them by is how justified is it for them to actually be filming? Right? And for this one, it kind of makes sense. Like, all right, she wants to documentate this visit with her grandparents to see if she could patch the relationship with their mother. That's the whole reason she's doing it. So it kind of makes sense that there's a camera on every fucking, you know, every time something happens that she thinks worthy of putting in this documentary. So I think it was set up well, and in my head at least, I think it was justified for the camera to be on as much as it was.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really enjoyed also how she was very like much like we're only going to film us, and she was they kind of made like the reason for them filming them is like the film integrity and stuff like that, and that really worked because there wasn't like cameras set up everywhere else like Paranormal Activity or something where you can see the whole house. You just got their perspective only.
So it was very believable. But no, so she's doing this interview. She's getting all this exposition about her history with her grandparents and stuff, or with her parents. And apparently she says there was some kind of fight, some dispute she had. But she's really vague about it, bro. Like if it was something huge, like if...
Yeah, I thought it was way bigger than what it had.
I was definitely let down by what the reveal was, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was way bigger. But I want to go back to when she's telling them about their grandparents. Why is there never a picture shown? There is never not once a picture shown.
Well,
I believe that though. Like she was 17 or whenever when she left. She left with the clothes on her back, as you learn. Like she just rolls out. Like you aren't grabbing photos. You don't have this. And if you didn't really connect with them on Facebook, and you know how some people like just don't have like no family. I was gonna say some white people, but most of sometimes you'll meet white people like like it's just me and my parents, like no cousins, no anybody, no like great grandma, great niece or anything like that you can connect with. So that part's kind of believable to me.
Well, yeah, and also think of the timing. It's 2015 when this movie comes out. She had left probably for about 15 years, I'm thinking. Maybe a little bit less. But so given the timeline, it's probably early 2000s when she leaves.
Yeah, late 90s.
So unless she left with like a handful of fucking photos and shit, she wouldn't have any pictures of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But yeah, so like I said, I think that there's some secret she's keeping from the daughter. We're supposed to be curious about it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, obviously, she banged some dude like in the middle of the fucking living room or something.
In their parents' room.
Something. Like something wily, bro.
That reveal of what it was let me down a lot. I was just like, dude, like all this happened because you just couldn't say that. You couldn't say that. Like it wasn't that bad. Like it
really wasn't. Like in a white family, I believe it.
Right.
So, but now, I'm sorry, bro.
They always want to run away. They always, when shit don't go their way, they always want to run away. Yeah.
And something the mom says, isn't it like, she's like, I don't want to see them. I don't want anything to do with them. But the daughter's like, and her daughter's insistent on going. Both of her kids, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, even if I had told them they couldn't go, they were going to go still.
Yeah, because she plays it as they want to meet their grandparents, obviously, but they also want to give their mom space because she hasn't had any time without the kids in a while. And she wants to go on the cruise with her man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what they said. They said that they want their mom to get a chance to get some penis.
Yeah. Get her
More or
love
less.
life back.
Yeah, more or less.
So the mom ends up driving these kids on a train to go see their grandparents. And on the drive, we kind of get like character development for the girl whose name we learned is Becca. And she's got a brother named Tyler's.
Yes.
And they have some like really explicit like sex talk, don't they? Or am I tripping?
I don't think.
I swear to God, bro, I heard something about like penis.
There's a part where they're talking about Tyler was texting some girls like some kind of explicit stuff, and she was like, "You're not gonna." But it wasn't like weird.
He had two girls on the line. He had two girls.
Oh,
He was
okay.
texting two girls on the line.
I thought it got hardcore. Never
That's
mind.
why he needed the internet when he got out there so he can get the booby pics.
Yeah, because he was talking about him. He was like, "I need to talk to these girls," and
Yeah.
he was mad about that.
Oh yeah, because that's what that's setting up is that there's not going to be any signal or anything, and they won't need cell phones out there. So as soon as you hear that, you're like, okay, that's why they're going to be trapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were doing a good job putting them on an island, and like you kind of understanding it's 2015, but they're still on an island, even though there should still be like a landline. But what I know.
Yeah, but so they're setting up believability for why things happen later on. Mm-hmm. And we learned that the little brother is a germaphobe because he's like wiping. Is it the train station? Right? He's like using a cloth to open up the restroom door and shit.
Yeah, yeah. He's got some. He's a germaphobe because it makes him in control.
Yeah, because their dad left was one of the
because his
big
dad
plot
left.
points, which is we kind of left that out at the beginning. That the mom, she says that she hooked up with the teacher, then ran away with her teacher from high school.
Met him in a
Is that what
Starbucks.
happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Whoa. But wait, she was 19 when she did, so she wasn't in high school.
No,
Was
she was 17, I think.
17? Mm-hmm. Whoa.
It's weird, really like almost unnecessary. Like, she could have ran away with anybody. Like I don't think they really had to throw that it was the teacher in there because they don't really visit it again.
No, that really doesn't like add anything for it to be an older guy.
No.
Well, I guess that's supposed to be like why the grandparents had a problem with it to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. But he could have been like just like a little thug or something. I don't know.
I'm trying to say black.
Oh,
that would have been
Could have been a black
they add a
teacher.
racial element. This ain't a Jordan Peele movie.
Nah, dude. But yeah, so I get it. And also at the beginning, though, they kind of glaze over it. I feel like as the film goes on, we learn about how that actually deeply affected and had like residual effects on the family.
Yeah, yeah.
But like at the beginning, I feel like they kind of just go like, "Dad dipped out on me," blah, and that's pretty much the most we got up until that point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like we were talking about, we mentioned earlier. So this is the train scene now, where we learn that her younger brother Tyler, also known as, is it T?
Oh, what was his name? T Dog, the stylist.
Diamond Stylist.
T Diamond Stylist. Yeah.
I tried to block that part out, dude. I don't remember.
And
his name.
he starts just what do you call that guy he was with?
He was like an Amtrak worker.
A stewardess. Would it be a stewardess? So whoever works the
Whoever's on the
trains.
train collecting tickets. The guy in the bellhop outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of a flight attendant. Not the opposite, but
He's a
train
train
version.
Opposite of a flight
He's a train
attendant. What's the
attendant.
opposite of a flight attendant?
I don't
bro?
think that has an opposite. Some things just don't.
A taxi driver, bro. Nowhere near a fucking plane. But yeah, so he's like rapping to this dude. And he happens to be black, of course. So is he beatboxing for him?
He's beatboxing.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that they just made this dude beatbox for him. Like, not talking about like the Amtrak. I'm talking about M. Night Shyamalan. Like, that.
Do you remember where this
didn't
is
need
supposed
to
to
do that.
take place at?
It's M. Night Shyamalan, so it's Philly. It's outside of Philly somewhere.
Oh, okay, so it is on the coast.
Yeah, it's always East Coast with him in Philadelphia. He's from there, and every single movie he does, it's just
Ooh,
based
fun
there.
facts. I didn't know that. I was positive they were going to be like in the Midwest, given that the fucking grandparents lived on like a ranch and shit.
Yeah, for real. The Pennsylvania's like that though. I went up there. My girl went to school up in Philly, and so once you're outside of this town, it's kind of like Kansas. You're just in the country. A whole bunch more
okay.
Amish than that they showed though.
So it gets like rural and shit.
Yeah,
Alright.
a whole bunch of Amish.
Nah, but so the kids meet the grandparents at the train station, and everything seems pretty casual up until that point. Nothing really odd at that moment when they're like, they put the camera down and they run up to him from a distance. No real, like
waiting.
nothing.
Waiting for him with the sign. You know,
Yeah.
their names. Just
I
That
I
seems
kind of
casual.
thought that the grandparents like immediately like didn't talk like regular people, like they were just like kind of like off, which I think is like, I don't know if it was purposeful or it was because might talk about this later, but I thought that if anything could have been improved with this movie, it's the grandparent casting. Was kind of rough, so I don't know if it was just they weren't that great of actors, so they're kind of awkward, or if it's because they're supposed to be kind of weird.
I don't know, man. I disagree. I like the grandparents.
Oh, really?
I thought they fit the country vibe.
I thought the grandpa in particular, bro, he had like this Liam Neeson type fucking voice to him, bro.
Yeah.
It was real smooth, dog. Like I just wanted to hear the motherfucker like narrate a porn or something.
I thought the grandpa was weird, dude. I thought he was just like hamming it up, like he was going for it, like acting.
I think
wise.
towards the end, but like the beginning part when he's just a regular ass fucking grandpa, bro, he looks like, you know, Joe the plumber, man. He's a regular man's man.
I liked how they did the grandparents in there. It really shows elderly people and their problems. You know, I like that.
Like they're real awkward, bro. They're real disconnected from the kids. It's really uncomfortable. That's how it is in real life, bro. That's how I am with older people still, and I'm
Yeah.
fucking almost 30, bro. But yeah, so like so the meeting's pretty chill. And they end up pulling up to this like fat ass fucking ranch style house. I'm at that age now where I just look at people's houses and I just go, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, you lucky bastards.
Yeah, I almost Zillowed it the other day.
Like, where the fuck is this? But nah, so they pull up and the daughter is like super dramatic about the experience. She's like taking like shots of the whole thing. Like, can you believe our mom used to swing on this swing set?
Let the natural swing go. Let the swing just go.
What if like the next scene would have been like her in the restroom, like my mom's ass touched this toilet. Flush it. No, slower.
Slower.
Yeah, she's like, this is where mom played hide and seek. Like, obviously, she did a lot of things here.
Like
she
you
grew
said,
up, she lived here.
She hammed it up like a motherfucker.
Yeah, she did. It was just pointing out way too, like, one too many things. Like,
This is the clock. This is the clock that mom used to walk by.
Right, and then she immediately stops talking about it after like a couple minutes.
Never see the clock again.
And there's one part where the grandma, I think the grandma or the grandpa, I can't remember. Somebody asks if Tyler likes sports, and it's really casually mentioned, but that's foreshadowing for shit that comes up later. And I think he was kind of like, nah, not really, or some shit, right?
yeah. So he said not really, and then he has that whole monologue later on that is actually really ties the movie together. And I didn't really. We'll talk about it all.
We'll
later.
get there. We'll get there. But that's just like foreshadowing for that part coming up later.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice that part. Honestly.
And she asks why they're in the kitchen, and she asks why his pants are so low. And again, this kid, bro, he's selling that he's a fucking rapper.
I'm a rapper.
And she tells him, like, he's like, I can rap about anything, yo. Just kick me a topic. And he starts rapping about a pineapple upside down cake. And they fuck with it, man. Everybody loves it. Let's be honest, man. He's like, what, supposed to be 10? 12?
I think about 12.
12,
Yeah.
yeah, 12, I think was the timeline.
It's kind of cute.
I'm not about it. So one thing they always do when like a white kid like is like a rapper in a movie, Like the dude, like everything, like dress wise, like he dressed like a rapper, but he always has the long hair. Like if you're like a little kid that's trying to be a rapper, the white dude, you're probably gonna have a little like fade or something, you know. At least have like the gelled up to the side or something. It's always that like bushy hair, and it just pisses me off because like there's just one detail that like a kid that wants to rap would not have hair like that.
Well, because I think it was like supposed to be comedic effect. He's the comedic relief in the movie. And if he had been like in baggy clothes, bro, just being like, "Nah, son, what's up, motherfuckers? What's good, cuz?" Like it would have been awkward more so than just goofy.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Like if he was like Dirt Nasty on Scary Movie 3.
Yeah,
just,
pretty
like,
much, bro.
Yeah, it would be too much. You're right.
But so I think that's what that's supposed to be because this is a horror comedy, and it does have some fucking funny moments, bro.
I mean, was it intentionally a horror comedy, or is that just how it got classified after the fact?
I think the way I read about it is he said M. Night Shyamalan said he had to recut it because he said there's like 3 different versions. One version is just a pure horror movie. The other one he thought was too funny, so he kind of just cut it up different to where it's like a good blend.
Okay.
And I feel like it was decent.
I could see some of the comedy aspects, especially with like the last scene, the way that kind of tied it together. It was like, oh, it's like kind of a more jovial than just like feeling like dark.
Well, even the build up, bro, with like the brother being a fucking rapper and stuff, like that was, you know, that wasn't good atmosphere if you're trying to like terrify us from the get go.
Yeah, that's true.
So the kids get to sleep in their mom's old room, which they were excited about, which would be a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? She had, oh, that was weird. She had 2 beds. Was it a couch though? It was like a couch bed, wasn't it?
It was like a day bed. So like, you know, day bed, it has like the back with all the pillows, but you can sleep there. Day bed's really nice room. Like up there is like one of the best like kids rooms you could have. Like it's up there with the Hey Arnold level, I think. Because Hey Arnold had like, you know, Hey Arnold had the whole sunroof. You can go wherever you wanted.
Yeah, bro.
Hey Arnold's room was the best one, and this one's probably like.
I've never thought about that,
it's a
dude.
nice
You got
little
my
kid
brain
room.
going of like, what fucking like TV show bedrooms do I fuck with heavy?
Some of them are
Hey
so
Arnold,
nice.
for sure. Hey Arnold.
Bro, you guys remember that TV show on Nickelodeon, iCarly?
Yeah,
that bitch had like a fucking like loft. That motherfucker was clean.
She had like a TV studio in her attic, dude. Like it was like full on lights. They had everything. Up
Hardwood floors, the giant fucking window with the view, fucking tall ceilings, like the elevator. No, that just went up to her apartment, right? Or to go to her fucking bedroom too, bro.
That
It
went
was
to
the
like
whole
her main
up and
floor.
down everything.
God damn.
Elevator in her loft.
So yeah, but like I said, so these kids' room was fucking pretty solid. And also around this point, the grandpa tells the kids like, "Oh, hey, don't go in the basement because there's mold down there." Which I mean, it sounds believable. It's you know, it makes sense. But given we're watching a horror movie, we're like, okay, there's something fucked up in the basement.
That part like they give you that like so early on.
They
And
triggered
it's
you.
so obviously something. And as soon as things start going like wrong for the kids, you got to think about the basement, dude. Like, you got to just hold everything in this people are telling
When
you.
things started getting crazy, I thought that the grandparents spent too much time in the basement, and the mold affected them. So I was like, okay, I can explain. I can see that.
I can see that. The
Stay
mold
away
is
from the
good.
basement. The mold's down there.
Look what it's doing to me.
Like, look at the way these motherfuckers act. That mold is bad.
Yeah.
It's not mold, dude. I don't know what that is if it's doing that to you.
You guys,
Mold or meth, bro.
you guys noticed that the farm that they were on, no animals, no livestock, no cattle, no. I didn't see nothing, no animals.
What did that farm produce? Like, there was no.
He was
crops
throwing
even.
hay.
He was just chopping wood, dude. You can't sell
I never
wood
even thought about
like
that.
He had no crops, no products.
Hey, why the fuck did he have hay?
Exactly.
He was throwing hay.
There's no.
There was a stable with no horses in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell is going on? What kind of farm is this?
Bro, that'd be me if I owned a farm. It'd just be the property and I do nothing with it.
Yeah.
It'd be so overrun if I was. I hate cutting my grass. I have it's like a 20-foot backyard, dude. And I every day in the summer I have to cut grass is the worst day of my life. I hate it. Like that. If I had a farm, even on a John Deere, dude, I'd be like, nah, I ain't cutting the grass today.
Bro, did you see this yard when you pulled up, man? I got to do the entire fucking thing down to the street, back to my garage, down to the neighbor's house.
And then you got the little picket fence up front, like the little, like, the 2 pieces of wood, the really nice white ones, the little ones. Then you got to do the little weed whacking on that too. That takes some time. You can't just roll those
Can't
John
just
Deere
run
on
through
that,
it.
dude. You
Yeah.
got to take your time to get that. That's,
Or remove the fence post.
I wouldn't have nothing, dude. I wouldn't even have the tree to swing. It's a liability.
No, well, yeah, I mean, that thing, there's one part where, like, the grandpa's in the shed and, like, Becca, the daughter, walks up to him and she's talking to him. And, like I said, he's throwing fucking hay. And I think that's supposed to illustrate that this dude is strong. Because he's, like, fucking she's manhandling his fucking hay,
He
bro.
was chucking it for a 75-year-old, 77-year-old. He was.
So I
chucking
think
that.
that's supposed to show us, like, oh, okay, this dude's got old man strength, like
Is he
crazy.
strong though? Is he strong? We're gonna get
Sir.
to this, but is he strong?
I think so.
I don't think he's strong. I will. There's so many parts of this where like his strength, I think, is greatly exaggerated.
All right, but so after, we get introduced to the kids' bedroom, they explore the house and shit. They have a Skype call with their mom, and they tell her, everything is going cool. And we find out the mom's going on a cruise. And what day do they get there, bro? Is it Monday?
Monday's first day they were there.
Monday, yeah.
So they get there on a Monday, and they're supposed to be there until Saturday. I didn't keep track of the days like you did, apparently. I just remember, like, there is, like, title cards for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of my notes, dude.
That's how you got it, like, labeled off?
Yeah, just like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the things that happen. I didn't have Friday written down because everything that crazy happens on Friday.
So at this point, Becca gives Tyler his own camera, and she calls him camera operator. So that's just supposed to let us know that now we're gonna have an extra pair of eyes. So we're gonna see it through Tyler's eyes and through her eyes with these cameras. And Tyler follows the grandpa out to a shed, and he's like kind of standing off at the distance. He like yells to get the grandpa's attention. They call their grandparents Pop Pop and Nana, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the white folk of America.
Pop, pop.
Nana?
I could never say that to my grandpa. Like, what's up, Pop, pop?
Yeah, this doesn't roll off.
I'd be mad at dude if I had grandkids that call me Pop, pop.
Like, you got to cut that shit out now.
Yeah.
I ain't your Pop, pop.
Just throw that away. Just throw it in the trash and never pull it out again.
Call me Grandpa or Sir.
Yeah, just sir. Just call me sir, damn it.
Nah, man. I can't think. I don't think I never called my parents or my grandparents anything out there.
Me neither. Like Grandpa, Grandma. That's it.
Yeah.
Nah, but so they walk out to this shed, and I think he like put his like the camera on his face, and he's like doing this like sarcastic like, "What's in the shed? What's in the shed? No, seriously, what's in the shed?"
Yeah, at this point of the movie, they're not really giving you like anything. Like they're kind of giving you little tense moments, but they're not giving you the scariness. So he's just like outside, and he's like joking around, trying to do like different takes for the documentary to make it like the best. What's in the shed?
They say,
Yeah, he's practicing. You know,
They
like,
say his bodies. They use dead bodies.
Yeah, I think he was doing something like
Dead
that.
bodies.
He's definitely trying to be just like sarcastically. I think this is the first like moment that we get that something is up with the grandparents, because the grandpa ignores the shit out of him and just walks away, right?
Yeah, doesn't acknowledge him or nothing.
But like to them, they're like, all right, whatever, he's annoyed by me right now, cool.
yeah, it makes sense.
And so the grandpa tells them after this that curfew is at 9:30. It's not unreasonable.
Not unreasonable. They're old.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I don't know. I've never had my parents were never big on curfews. So I don't know the rules. Like once you go into bed, are you supposed to stay in bed?
Well, see, that's what I had a problem with. Curfew was 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock was you're inside and you're in your room.
Yeah, curfew means like, all right, quit fucking around. You should be laying down trying to go to sleep.
But
Yeah.
if you get thirsty, you obviously can leave, but they told him you can't leave the room.
No,
I don't know. They didn't tell him that
He
yet.
didn't say
Not
that in
yet?
the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I'm ahead of the game.
There's a difference between curfew and bedtime. Bedtime means you got to be in bed, lights out. Curfew should be like you got to be home. So that didn't really make sense at all to me. He's not with the times. He ain't seen his kid at that point in 20 years, which is not really his kid, but
That's true. So he was a little fuzzy on parenting, I guess.
obviously he was in a mental institution like for however long that was.
It's true. So now it's 10:30 and Becca can't sleep because she's craving cookies. It's a little out there.
No, dude, that's kind of weird too. Like how this lady learned to like cook the cookies so good.
It's a grandma.
She's not a grandma though.
I mean, she's 100 years old, bro. She's got some life experience, dog.
Just
pick it up.
Just pick it up. Yeah, just throw it. Just winging it.
I don't know.
Like I can make raw chicken wings, dude. I've learned some skills through my life also.
Can you make some sugar snap cookies?
I'd figure it out.
Now baking sucks, dude. Baking, like anything else, you can just season.
Yeah.
Baking is like exact, or it's not gonna be good at all.
That's true, actually. Like from scratch.
Yeah, that don't come out
Baking is
right.
by far the worst.
So yeah, so Becca decides to get out from bed and go and get some of these cookies. And doesn't she walks out the door, she's got the camera. Now why she has the camera for this moment is fucking beyond. Oh, because as she's walking through the hallway, she's like, do you think mom used to sneak out and get cookies just like this? Again, doing that shit.
Yeah.
Bro, everything, dog.
Yeah, they're really trying to over explain every moment they have the camera, when sometimes like I just don't care. Like, she has a camera, it's cool. Like, just throw her out there with the camera. You don't have to explain it to me that she has the camera because of this.
Yeah, they're really selling like why she has the camera.
Yeah.
That's why. Which I mean works out because I was just about to talk shit and be like, why does she have it? Oh, that's right.
They knew you were about to watch this.
Pretty much. Just for me, dog. So so she fucking walks out. She's walking down the hallway. She's standing at this like tall ass staircase, which for old people seems questionable. And she looks down it and she sees like the grandma walk by this like the vision of the camera and just vomits all over the fucking floor. Like hardcore
Exorcist style vomiting.
projectile vomiting on the ground.
Like, it got like 3 feet, dude. It was blah. Like,
Yeah.
it shot.
Niagara Falls over there. Throw up just straight.
Distance, bro.
Yeah.
And so she's like, turns right back around, goes back to the room to save the awkward moment.
She just runs back to her room. Now, if I see my grandma sick, throwing up, I would go down. Grandma, you okay? You need something? But she's just terrified of the throw up and just bolts it back to the room.
Well, I mean, that and she is like 15, right?
It'd be one thing if like grandma was just like, down puking on the ground, just like sitting there, but she puked and kept it going, man. She
was vomiting and walking.
her feet never stopped walking when she was puking, dude. She was doot like, out of there.
Yeah.
So I guess you just kind of gotta let her do it, because I mean, she's not there anymore. You don't want to walk through the puke.
Yeah.
You don't got shoes
Well, I
on.
let Grandpa handle that in the morning. He'll clean that shit up.
There's never a scene of her telling her brother about this part, I don't think. Not at this point.
No.
Because the next thing I got is the next morning, Tyler's telling his grandpa, about him, or his grandma about how he raps, and he's like, my sound is kind of like Tyler the Creator. Which I got a chuckle out of.
Yeah.
Because I was a big Odd Future guy back in the day. So I was like, it's interesting.
Especially in 2015. It's a good time to like Odd Future.
Yeah. And so after this, then we get Becca talking to the grandpa about it. Well, this is the part I was talking about where he's out in the ranch or whatever and he's chucking hay and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, she just had a flu. Which, I mean, if you're not looking for any suspicious shit, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like, old people get sick, Becca. This is one of the scenes where he was just not like doing it for me. He was just doing a little too much. And
I'm telling you, dude, his voice was smooth for me. I liked it.
Yeah.
like, old people, and his like eyes like popped out his head. Like, I just watched The New Guy recently. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Where Eddie Griffin does that thing where he shoots his eyes out of his head, like kind of.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah, he was doing the crazy eyes, just talking to like his granddaughter. Like, just old people get sick, Becca. It was not doing it.
I looked up that guy's Wikipedia page. He's still alive, by the way.
Oh no way.
And he didn't start acting until he was like in his 40s or something, or his late 30s. So he's always played like the old man on TV. And that's all it is like 100 TV credits and stuff on like little small parts on TV shows and stuff. So you think he'd have like being the old guy down at this point.
Right.
He didn't.
I'm glad there's still hope though out there. I'm still looking for my calling. He didn't start until 40.
There you go.
There's still hope out there for
That's
you.
right. We could all fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
You see this dude with his OnlyFans in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, that's not acting, because that's porn.
Right. So now we get like the first legit, not, I guess, in my opinion, the legit scary scene is when the kids decide to play hide and seek under the fucking crawl space.
Yes.
Or what do you call that? Under the porch, under the house?
That's crawl space.
Was it under the house, or was it under like an auxiliary like shed or something?
I can't remember. I think it was under the house.
It was under the house. It was under the house.
But how's the basement there? Come on,
Maybe it was
producers,
just
come
a
on,
section.
Hollywood.
It's sectioned out.
Who knows, man? We didn't have blueprints, bro. We didn't see the documents.
Yeah.
But nah, so it's like this under, to me, it looks like, I don't know how you describe it. It's like under, if you have to crawl, there's dirt on the floor, and there's like a series of like little
Pillars.
columns and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like all the little like foundational columns, so just like wood, almost like a 2 by 2 feet.
Something.
like that.
It was enough to cloud vision.
Yeah, it made it like a little grid too, so it was very even.
And I can't remember why the kids decide, let's go play tag under this bitch, right? Or they play hide and seek.
I think they kind of referenced that the mom told them that they were playing she used to play hide and seek down there. With who? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the kids are crawling, chasing each other down there. And the brother's hiding, and we're kind of... How is she's crawling, by the way, like that? Aren't they both crawling, holding a fucking camera, now that I'm thinking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're one-handed, like, football stancing, like, fucking moving, bro, under this goddamn house.
Look at it.
Hands and knees, one hand on the ground. That's how they're moving.
I want to talk about the grandma's bear crawl.
That's something I want to get to. So like I said, in the middle of this game out of nowhere, there's this tense moment when Becca's separated from her brother looking for him. You know, she's doing that little pan around thing, kind of like, hey, where the fuck are you? And then, you know, I jumped when this happened because it's like the grandma just fucking booking it, bro. Like hair in her face, just gunning it right towards her, doing like a bull charge.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped. That part got me too. It got me too.
Dude, grandma was doing like, do you guys like ever watch Planet Earth? Like in like those like documentaries where they just like kind of follow like animals around. Like grandma was like a cheetah because like she was like not just like crawling like one hand at a time. She was doing like the two hands and then like at the same time a lunge. So her like hands were going back to like her knees and then getting the hands back out there. There's some athleticism on display.
Yeah, that grandma's moving for sure.
She was moving.
Yeah, and also for this part, you know, I was thinking, maybe I understand now why her hair was in her face, because they had to have had a stunt double for that, right? There's no fucking way that old lady was booking it like that, bro. Like, I couldn't do that. In my prime, I couldn't do that, sir.
Right.
Even if I was little enough to be under there, like, you can't crawl like that. You can't just, like, you're not an animal. Like, it's weird, dude.
And she was, like, you could hear, like, breathing, and, like, it sounded like she was stomping, like, as her hands were hitting the dirt. It was terrifying. And so this was like a little, 2-minute scene? Maybe, not even that. But it was just her chasing the grandkids under the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they end up both finding the exits. And you're wondering, like, all right, how are they going to move on from this? And what happens is the grandma just follows them out of from under the crawl space and stands up, dusts her knees off like that was fun. Like if they were playing. And the kids are terrified, right?
Yeah.
And she turns around and walks up some stairs, and her dress is ripped, and we see ass cheeks, right?
They should have kept the stunt double in all the way through.
This is the first of many times we see Grandma's eeks. And I didn't need to see Grandma's eeks that much, you know? But the thing that like weirded me out even more than seeing her butt, like after she turned around, is when like she comes out, her knees are like black from like just she's been down there for a minute. Like it's almost like if the kids like went down there and grandma just ended up being down there, not like she followed them to play.
Like if she was already down there.
She was just kicking it under the house.
It was definitely a creepy scene.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was in the trailer. I don't think it was.
I don't think so because I watched the trailer right before I watched it. No, that part wasn't.
Because the moments that are fucked up in the trailer are very distinct in your head, right?
Yeah.
So after this, and while she's chasing them under the house, she's like mumbling shit. She's like, "I'm gonna get you.
I'm coming, Becca. I'm gonna get you, Becca."
Like that shit's fucking terrifying, bro. Like for me, bro, one of the most terrifying things to me, personally, is I've said this in other podcasts, that the imagery of the haggard woman, the witch, the old lady. You know, that whole thing, like long hands, old face, big nose, just weird features.
Raspberry voice.
Yeah, the cackling laugh. That to me is terrifying as hell. So this movie was really effective for someone like me.
Yeah, if you don't like the old lady, crazy old lady look, then that's not it for you.
No. Actually, it was perfect for me because of that. But nah, so she, and after she gets out of the crawl space, all she says is, "I'm making chicken pot pie."
I thought that was funny because they were scared running, and she comes out and says, "I'm gonna make some chicken pot pie for the 2 chickens."
And and the kids literally, bro, look at each other and their shoulders go up and they shrug it the fuck off. They go, "Ah, well."
She got some practice. She's been hanging out under there for a little while. She knows how to maneuver under there.
And Grandma still got it.
I wonder if mom got caught by grandma is what I would say.
Man. You think you'd bring that up to your mom? Or they do bring it up, don't they?
Kind of, but I think that they use the cruise as a way that they're just not really trying to communicate with mom and ruin her time. So they're just like very vague with her at the beginning.
Yeah. And so after this, right, this is a fun part. This is where Tyler decides he's going to explore that shed.
Oh.
And so he goes into the shed, right? He's doing it real like slow, trying to build it up. And could you guys tell what it was before he walked up to it? Because he goes like this. It's in the corner of the shed. And it's a table, and I thought it was like cotton or something, or like cloth.
Right after they showed it, you knew what it was. Just like,
I mean, when he, lifts it up. But before that, did you guys have any guesses at what it was?
when I saw the mound, I was like, I know what this is.
Yeah, because it was like a little like shed table, and there's like a pile of like white things on top of it, and I couldn't tell what it was. But he walks up to it, and he grabs one of them and lifts it up, and it's a diaper with shit inside of it.
A whole bunch of shit.
And Tyler does say it smells like ass in here when he walks in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's going to be a dead animal or something. That's what I thought.
Same.
My mind went nowhere near that. That was a beautiful fucking twist.
Especially for old people, old people wear diapers.
Yeah, like it makes sense, but I could have done without the whole poop in the whole movie, dude. Like you could have taken that out for me.
Well, I mean, you know why it was there, right?
Oh my god!
for the end of the movie, right?
Well, no, because Tyler's the germaphobe, so that's that whole thing is to kind of like for him that was his extra like thing.
You could have had him crawl through like a little swamp. You could have had him do all kinds of stuff. You could have
For a germaphobe, man, what's worse than somebody else's shit like being anywhere in the vicinity of you? So him walking up on a fucking pile of fucking shitty diapers is for him
touching it. Oh yeah.
I just felt it was unnecessary. I didn't like it.
And also, it's that whole stereotype with like old people in diapers and stuff, so it kind of fits.
Yeah, because they can kind of explain it away a little easier.
And so I think Tyler talks to grandma about it, to his grandma, and that's when she kind of casually brings it up that like, oh, he's ashamed that he needs diapers, so he burns them all in a field after a while, which is weird, bro. But once again, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. You guys are a little strange, but cool.
I'm thinking when she says it, like, is there like a room that they have like just full of cotton underwear? Like
that was a lot of fucking diapers.
Like
bro.
it was. That was like so he hadn't gone and burned those. So I'm assuming that's not more than a week's worth of diapers, And like how much you eat, like you got to watch your diet if you're doing like just pooping that much every time.
Yeah, that's crazy. That kind of shows how long he's been there.
That's true.
It shows how long he's been there.
But I guess he probably shits his pants 3-4 times a day.
At least.
Yeah, minimum.
Do. So after this, they go on a tour of the town with their grandpa. And again, we get back to that thing like the school. Mom went to the school. She used to walk these halls, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Stupid shit. I wish they had gotten more into the school.
Yeah, they really didn't show a lot of like the town or the school at all.
They did in the drive-in, which I thought was kind of interesting, is when the Pop points out that he's like, oh, that's the hospital. And you also, at this point, you still don't know it's a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, you don't know the significance of it because it's a real casual thing. He like interrupts them when they're playing because they're about to play some game, but they never do anything with it.
Name the building and what they do there.
Name that building and make up a story why it's there, who's in there, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they point. I think that's why it's pointed out because they point at the psychiatric building, and the grandpa is like, "Oh no, that's this psychiatric ward."
He got so excited.
It does have the callback at the end because at the beginning they point at the building and they point at the police station. Remember?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's occupied by someone named this, and that person is not good at his job and isn't at his post. She says that like,
whoa, I didn't connect that.
Yeah. Then at the end you get kind of the same exact that actually ended up being the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. I just put that.
It's like a
together.
real quick throwaway. And I just like remembered filing it in. I was like, they wouldn't just say that for no reason. So.
Ninja reference or ninja reference.
How about the grandpa's strength, though? Is he strong or is he not strong? I mean, he took down a guy that was like...
Yeah, because when they're outside of the school, like, filming and shit, the grandpa starts getting paranoid and he sees some dude across the street. And he's like, nah, there's something off about this dude. He's following us.
I'm not having it.
And he runs up to him and he, like, tackles him, doesn't he?
He just throws him on the ground and then comes back for a haymaker. Never really connects it, but he's About to.
See, the dude is like backpedaling away. He's like, just sees an old man. He's like, hey, like don't mess with me. Then he's kind of trips while Grandpa pushes him, and then Tyler was just like, Grandpa's as strong as a wrestler. He says that exact line. I remember it. And I was like, what wrestler just pokes people over? Like doesn't really do all the things. So I'm still on the train of Grandpa's not that strong.
Bro, why are you hating on this old man's form and shit?
Because we'll get to it later on why he's not that strong. But
I believe
he's not
it,
that strong.
I don't know, man. Like, he's got the build for it. Like, he's tall. He looks like a stocky old man. He doesn't look frail.
He doesn't. He's not like a look like he need a walk or anything. Like he looks like he's just like has his own. But he doesn't look strong.
Kind of what they've been feeding them in the psychiatric ward over there.
Probably not anything
a lot
good.
of protein if you're coming out like that.
He's working out.
Just
there,
throwing
like he's
hay
doing
bales after the ward,
like he's doing a stint in prison, just working out.
Just straight up on that fucking, like, Jason Voorhees thing.
Yeah.
He's got like, a whole Bowflex out in the woods. But, nah, so the kids chuck it off to just literally, I just typed old people shit. And they said he's grumpy, he's paranoid, he's isolated. That's why he's like that. Now, for me, that would have been a sign of something iffy, because when they show that he has a temper like that, I would feel uncomfortable. Like, okay, so he lashes out like this on strangers. How well do we actually know this dude?
Yeah, and like he's supposed to be a counselor, and he's out here just like
Flipping out on motherfuckers,
trying to fight
right?
people on the side of the road, trying to square up on the side of the road. Like,
So after this is the part where now it's nighttime again, and the kids are in their bedroom, and they're hearing noises outside the door. And the kids are pretty timid to open the door. And this is the part where Tyler's like, I'm going to open the door. Okay. I'm going to do it. Okay. I'm going to open the door. I swear to God. She's like, open the fucking door, bro. So then he finally does it. And this is terrifying. Once again, terrifying imagery. This part's in the trailer where it's the grandma ass naked, scratching, clawing at the doorway across the hall. And we just see her back and
Just cheeks.
Crazy ass long hair.
Saggy cheeks. I couldn't see anything else but cheeks when I saw that.
the long hair you mentioned like is a great touch because she looks crazy and like
It looks disheveled.
very animalistic, like she's like a beast out the woods, like she's very like crazy looking. But I don't know, I guess like these kind of images like don't really do it for me in horror movies as much. More like the things that scare me more like seeing like an Annabelle doll or seeing something like paranormal happen. But if it's an old lady just doing that, like it got me for a second. I was kind of scared, then I kind of just burst out laughing a little bit. That's what that one did to me, because it was just like what, like
The outrageousness.
you
of
just
it.
scratch in the wood, like she was getting after it too. Like it wasn't like a little dainty, like she was like that would hurt. So
like
bad,
a cat
dude.
scratching on a fucking couch, bro.
Yeah, that you got some splinters all up in there. She spent it all morning just cleaning up after herself and just like putting her shit back together, like the whole house after she's just like sprinting around puking everywhere, dude. Like
When does she sleep?
that she's sleeping. Her body's not, but
It's true. I don't know, dude. Like I said, for me, that's terrifying because I put myself in these kids' position, and I imagine like me walking out from my bedroom and there's somebody just clawing at my fucking wall right there.
Yeah.
That's what I can like equate it to. Like for me, because like I said, this type of movie just works specifically for me. Like, was it effective for you? Did it like, or would you just? You said the cheeks. All you saw was ass cheeks.
I hate old people.
You're like, I paused it and I just beat off.
I just paused it to the cheeks and beat my meat to the cheeks and then continue. No, I hate old people. Old people frighten me. Old people scare me. I don't like old people, and it's not anything to do with the movie. Old people scare me more when they're driving. I don't like it when old people are driving. If I look next to me and there's a grandma, I'm like, oh shit, heart attack waiting.
you gotta switch lanes on there. You're
Yeah.
like, damn, she's gonna get me. But nah, old people don't do it for me because I always feel like
I can take them.
old people,
Yeah.
they need new hips all the time. Like grandma fell and she needs a new hip. Like that's how I see old people. Like I could just give her one of those, just a little one hand little thing. Don't even have to punch her. You just gotta set her down. She's gonna not be able to get up.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of old people either. Like I said, what I'm scared of is very specific. Like a perfect example is you guys have seen Insidious.
Yes.
That old woman in that movie lives in my nightmares. That's the perfect example of what scares me. But old people in general, nah, not so much. But that is a phobia. Like my sister, she's really iffy. Like you guys remember like Old Town Buffet and shit, and like
Yeah.
IHOP and Denny's. She used to hate going to them fucking places, dude, because there's always like motherfuckers with their senior citizen discount.
Dude, I used to work at a Village Inn, and
Nothing but old folk, right?
the smells is weird from every single person. Like, I feel like, you know, when you go in someone's house, everybody kind of has their own smell, but when you're old, that shit just kind of like,
You have an old smell.
it lingers more. So it comes with you when you go places. Like us, like we leave our smells at home. Old people, they come to Village Inn, like 7 deep, dude. It smells funky in there. Funky. Like just different.
Shout out to the old people of Village Inn.
Especially if they got their coffee going, they're sweating, boy.
Shout out to the Village Inn. I used to eat there a lot when I was younger with my grandparents. Another thing that my grandparents used to do is my grandma had night terrors. So in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., you might just wake up to her dead screaming at the top of her lungs over a nightmare that she had. She served in World War II with my grandpa, so she would always have flashbacks of the war. And every night she would just scream this horrifying scream. And it used to scare the shit out of me as a kid.
I couldn't do that, dude. That would like have ruined me for life if my grandparents did that when I stayed there.
She used to have a wheelchair, man. She just wheeled down the hallway.
Oh, man.
Lights off. The next thing you know, you just see this little old lady coming with the wheelchair. Scare the shit out of you, man. Old people scare the shit out of you.
Hell no, man. That sounds terrifying. I was fortunate to never have anything like that. Like my grandparents, they always owned a restaurant, and my grandpa to this day has got like 2 fucking jobs. Dude's in his like 70s.
Damn.
Jesus.
So yeah, motherfucker just never stopped. So I was never around that too much. But my sister, like I said, she was always really bad about that. Like whenever old people walk by in a hallway, like she puts her back to the fucking wall and like scoots.
Oh, shit.
Like she's that kind of like afraid.
What you think they're gonna do to him?
Like lunge at her, bro.
Just grab?
Just have a mental breakdown right there.
Because if you think about it, like if you guys ever played that video game Fallout,
No, I never have.
Nope.
well, it's the concept of like feral people. Like the
Okay.
older you get, the more like decrepit you start to look, unfortunately, right? You get all fucking limbs start to get all hangy, skin starts to fall a little bit. You start looking less and less. Sorry to say, bro, you look less alive.
Yeah.
And you look like a zombie, bro.
A little bit, I feel you.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's what that is. It can be creepy.
So your sister just has like a fear of zombies. She applies to old people.
Yes. But no, so the kids, they've just seen their grandmother naked clawing at a door because they shut the door immediately after they see this, as you should.
Yes.
And the next day, Becca brings it up to her grandpa, and she explains that grandma has some kind of dementia that gets triggered after nightfall called sundowning.
Is that real? I meant to look it up before I came, but
My girl used to work at a nursing home at nighttime when she was a CNA.
ooh,
100% real, bro.
Really?
100% fucking
Oh,
real, dude.
shit.
Like the plight of CNAs at night. I don't know how the fuck they do it because they have separate wards in nursing homes. There's normal old people, dementia old people. They can't mix them together because the dementia old people are fucking on a whole nother level. They're like, I've heard like, because we have cousins and stuff that are CNAs. I've heard of them like having to lock themselves in like restrooms and stuff to like get away from them. So like, I'm just picturing this like hell scene, bro. Like it's terrifying.
that seems awful. That seems like one of the worst places to be.
Yeah.
Because like, senile old people do. They just start flipping out and start trying to hit you, cussing you out.
Do you ever get on those like Ask Reddit threads that are always like, "What's the creepiest thing you've ever seen?" I swear, like 80% of them are like, "Well, I used to work at a nursing home, and at night, blah blah blah." I'd be like,
Or a morgue.
"Yeah, something just like awful." They're always like old people at like the fucking nursing home, just being terrifying. Being like, one of them, like the other day, I was reading one. They're like, "All of us used to say like the kids really want the cookies, so we have to take them back to the room." And they'd be like, "What? Like, there's no kids here."
Oh,
Yeah, they would just, and all the old people did it at the same place.
I was thinking though about this. Do you think that has any correlation to like maybe werewolf mythology? That like maybe back in the day, because the sun goes down and maybe some like random old person in a village flipped out and just started like murking people, and people were like vampires, werewolves.
I think the werewolf mythology kind of more ties into people like it's more like based off of just people's like actual like hidden inner self that they like let out at night and go do stuff like that. Not necessarily killing. It's more just like a sociological, like, oh, this person
This guy
is
just beat
just,
off
like-
on a tree after dark.
no, not even that. Like this person just like this calm like family man, and then goes out and does like hangs out with all these like partiers and stuff like that. I think it's more just like basic than just old people was it moonlighting or whatever it is?
Sundowning.
Yeah, sundown
Moonlighting, bro.
It's something like that. I meant to look it up, but obviously I didn't.
Well, no, but I guess it is a real thing. And I looked it up on Wikipedia. Trust it. Of course, Wikipedia says it's a real thing, boys. Pencil it in. But no, so yeah, so now Grandpa's talking to Becca, and she's kind of bringing this whole little scenario up. And as she's talking to him, he's putting on a tux. And I didn't pay attention to that at all. Did you?
Yeah, definitely. Like as soon as I saw the little, the tux shirts have like the lines in it, like the little folds, I was like, "What is this dude doing?"
And he had a bow tie on and
I thought he was
shit.
going to volunteer.
In a tux, though, like it's not just a suit. Like suits you wear to work. Like suits are just like normal, like white shirts. But once they have those pleats and the little like cufflings, you don't wear cufflings to go to work.
To volunteer.
No, it's
Bro.
like in Step Brothers. Sorry, I keep bringing this movie up, but when they show up to the interview in the tuxes, it's hilarious because like they're wearing tuxes, and like this dude putting a tux on to me was just jarring.
Well, I mean, he's old, dude. I just assumed all old people wore like tuxes every day in the fucking 50s. So like when he was putting a tux on, I'm like, my guy looks sharp, bro. That's it.
The tux.
I'm not gonna lie. My first job interview, I went in a 3-piece suit at Winstead's.
3-piece suit. You had the vest on, bro.
I had it all. The tie, the vest, the suit.
Did you get it?
I got the job. Yeah.
My fucking boy, dude. All right, perfect segue, Nick. What was your first job interview, and what did you wear?
Oh, dude, it was Village Inn, so I like went in there in like jeans and a t-shirt. I was just like, I was applying to be a busboy, man. It wasn't that.
Oh, okay.
My sister worked there already, dude. I was in.
So you were a walk-on, man.
Yeah, I was like, when can you start guy after the interview? Not like a we'll call you.
Shit, bro. Me, dude. My mom, she dropped me off at a temp agency, and
At what age?
like 15, bro. And I don't think you can even legally get work, but the motherfuckers worked with me. And similar to you, sir, I walked in that bitch in a full suit.
Yeah.
And I'm next to these Mexican dudes, bro, that are about to get picked up by a van, just wearing jeans and dirty fucking shirts and stuff. And I'm just in the middle of this room. And I even had like a box, some type of pastry I was going to give them. 15-year-old me, fresh, baby-faced, fucking bangs down. Just a suit, bro. And I'm just sitting there in this chair, just waiting to be like, all right, whose toilet am I cleaning?
I love the concept that your mom dropped you off at a temp agency, dude.
Bro, my mom did that like 3 times in my life.
Like she must have been fed up at that point. She
Once when I was 15, once when I was 18, and then another time when I was... Nah, it was just the 2 times. Once when I was... Right after the day after graduation, she did it too.
just like, nah, you ain't sitting at home all summer, boy. You gonna...
She was like, oh, you want to take a year off before you go back to school, son? No.
No.
There's no years off. You don't have to go to school immediately, but you're gonna do something. Damn.
Yeah. So that happened. How the hell did we get there? Oh, the tux. Okay.
He was supposed to be going to a costume party.
Yeah, he was mentioning, like, I got to go to the costume party. And the fucking Becca puts him on blast, bro. She's like, I don't think there's a party. Pop.
I think you're mixing it up.
And he's got to do that, like, old people thing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that part I actually felt bad for him. I was like, man, like this dude has dementia or something. Like it's eating his brain. He's gonna have to do something crazy to these kids or something. So at that point, you still don't really know that it's not that what the circumstances with them. So I still think it's the grandparents. I'm like, what the fuck happened to these grandparents that made them so crazy right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Like, what are they involved in? Is there aliens? I thought aliens.
That's what I was about to bring up. So did you guys see the twist coming? Like, don't give it yet, but did you guys see it coming?
Not that early. Early on, I thought that it was going to be I thought it was something that was controlling them.
You thought it was possession.
I thought it was some kind of possession or something. We're gonna learn that something in the basement.
And your head went to aliens.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, aliens. Something's taking over them because
I like it.
something like that. So I was just kind of like getting tricky. I knew M. Night Shyamalan was gonna throw something crazy, throw a curveball at me. But the curveball was like a lot easier than I thought, and I just kind of overthought it, I think.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that after their daughter left, their mom left, that they just kind of started going crazy, and maybe they were starting to look into other ways of coping with it, and maybe they've gotten to some spiritual shit. And I definitely thought that they were getting possessed, or there was a demonic presence in that house.
I can see that. I can't remember what I thought when I saw this, but I just thought it was mental illness, probably. I just thought it was crazy old people. But no, okay, I was just curious how, like, if it was...
Yeah, it wasn't obvious at this point. Yeah, at this point, I was still thinking something like that. But a little later on, I could say that I think
You started to see the cracks?
Yeah, the next thing you actually have on your list is what kind of tipped me off to, oh, I think I know what's going on.
Yeah, because the next scene is Grandma tells Becca, like, oops, I spilled some muffin mix on your laptop, and it only got on the camera.
And she put the degreaser on the camera? Like, what are you putting that on it for? Oven cleaner? This ain't an oven.
That was actually really smart. Like, jumping too far ahead, but yeah, like, that was something to think of, right?
Yeah, and like, it was really smart for like the old, a good, like, you know, like sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, oh man, that was smart what that kid did. It. Like, that's a nice move by the old lady. She was putting up numbers in that little sign.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, I'm just going to mess this up real quick. You ain't going to get me like this.
Like if she did it and she turned around and just went, checkmate, bitch.
Yeah,
right.
it was a solid move. It kept everybody on the ropes for at least 3 more days. You didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and after that happens, Tyler is immediately suspicious. He starts to question everything. And Becca's kind of this voice of reason that's like, no, this happened because that. They did this because of that. So, and they talk to their mom on Skype, and it's kind of the same thing. The mom ends up jumping on Becca's side and telling her that, like, oh, Tyler, you're just kind of overreacting. Because I think at this point, when they bring up, like, the crawl space thing and shit, she's like, oh, we used to do that too.
Yeah, at this point, though, like, I was really heavily with Tyler because obviously we're watching a scary movie. But the house is immaculately clean all day. Like, every single thing, the glass is clean, everything. So you're telling me Grandma, who cleans this beautiful house every day, doesn't know not to put some like oven like grease cleaner on a damn laptop? That got me. I was just like, nah, like that was purposeful, obviously. And Tyler's right. Y'all need to listen. I hate in scary movies when people like have the hunch and they try to say it, but they sound crazy and no one believes them. It's just like, it hurts like me inside because I couldn't imagine being in the situation when you know something's wrong and everybody else is just like, nah, it's cool.
Props to Tyler for doing that and not falling into that white guy category of, oh, no, that's fine. No, we're good. Yeah, Rebecca definitely fell in that category. Tyler was more like, oh, no, something's not right here.
He definitely fought his tropes.
Yeah, it must have been the rapper in him.
There was that, like, pinch of ethnic.
Yeah.
It was the street smarts, bro. He got it.
Yeah, and also while they're on the Skype call with the mom, and she's still on the cruise at this point, they mentioned that her man's in a hairy chest competition.
I'd win.
You got hair on the chest, man?
Oh, I got taco meat for days.
My boy.
Yes, sir.
I would be last place, but I have nothing. I have like a little bit, like it comes in like right in the middle. But I like to like kind of like brush a little bit, like when it's wet to make it look. Yeah, kind of trying to
Fan it out a little
kind of
bit.
trying to puff it up, bro. I'm like, damn, I look like Burt Reynolds, bro.
Bro, I have a happy trail that never ends.
Yeah.
It like goes
It
up,
wraps around, dude.
it goes up the gut, bro, like straight up, and it literally only goes right here in the middle, like a happy trail.
I'm just a fucking forest, dude. It's all over, goes, wraps around, never ending, goes right down to, yeah.
The
Hairy
lady-
guy. Yeah, I
I
would
don't got
win.
nothing.
I would win the hairy chest and the hairy cheeks contest.
What the ladies stay for, bro. And after this, I was kind of confused by this next part because I think the grandpa snatches one of their cameras and he like walks up to the grandma while she's like in a dining room having a cigarette. And is it supposed to be like a seductive moment?
Is this the grandpa? I don't think the grandpa has a camera. I think that is Becca.
I think it was Becca.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure because I
Is
don't
it-
see any reason why the grandpa would have. I think she walked up and she was just smoking a cigarette.
Huh.
And then the scene ended fairly quickly.
Yeah, like I don't get what was the point of it.
Didn't make sense.
The
Really.
only thing I got out of that was you put the cigarette out in the teacup. I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck?
Like I feel like her whole demeanor was different in that moment. Like it was this kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. Like to me, it looks seductive.
To me, a little bit, those two, because there's another scene where she's in that same room in a rocking chair. I think those scenes are supposed to be like kind of a callback to how she hangs out when she's at when she's in the institution, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just kind of just like her living her like normal day, but her normal day is not being at this house. Her normal day is usually at a hospital.
Yeah, yeah. And so after this part, Becca's in the kitchen with Grandma while she's cleaning or cooking. I can't remember what the hell she's doing. And Becca's trying to ask her a question, and she kind of ignores it. And this is the part that I remember from the trailer, where the grandma goes over to the oven and she goes, "Could you clean the oven for me?" Or she says, or is it the wording she used, "Can you get in the oven and clean it for me?"
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, "After you do that, then I'll answer your questions." And so this is a really tense moment because you know something is up, and she's asking this young girl to get in her oven to clean it. And you're in your head, all the flags go up. But you think as a kid you wouldn't be like put off by it?
So my whole life growing up, my grandma, when she was alive, they were very like paranoid about me like messing something up. So like my whole life it was always like, don't touch the oven, don't touch that, like don't touch this, like if you go downstairs, don't go by the boiler, don't be touching that, don't be messing with the lights, don't be messing with the thermostat. So my whole life I've been trained not to do something like that, dude. So like immediately, like it was just always like, nah, dude. Like you get near the washer, don't go in that washer. Don't play hide and seek in there.
Yeah.
Like it was always something like that. So I would have been like, nah, dude, I ain't getting in the oven.
Yeah, I definitely would have said no. What threw me off was when she was like, I'm too big. And the oven is huge. And I'm looking at the little grandma like, and your arms are obviously longer. I know, I'm not getting in the oven.
Yeah, it's not like she couldn't fit, and it's not like Becca's that much smaller than Grandma either. Like, I'm not getting in the oven. Like,
And don't ovens have a button that says oven clean and it cleans itself?
I don't know about that. I don't be cleaning my oven.
Well, yeah, there is, but they're old, man. They wanted to do it by hand.
Like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten in that.
Would you have got in, Chris?
You know, the way I was raised is when someone tells you to do something, you don't question it. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. So I like to hear you guys like any scenario where you're like, no. It's crazy as fuck to me. My grandparents asked me to fucking climb inside of a goddamn, literally an oven. Literally, I can't think of anything else that's like more shadier than crawl into this oven. They tell me to crawl into an oven, bro. I'd have probably done it.
But this isn't just like your like normal disciplinarians. It's like these old people that you just met.
Even more, you want to be respectful to your elders.
I guess.
That's me, you know. I was always raised like that because my mom was hardcore, like, you know what I'm saying. She had that fucking whip, bro. Like I was in check like a motherfucker. So if anybody like an authority figure tells me to do something and I'm younger, I'm doing it.
Okay, I mean fair. 'Cause I think about that too. Like when you're like now looking back, you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done it. But when you're 12 and someone tells you to do something, you're like, yeah, sure, gotcha.
Yeah.
What you need me to do?
Like you need me to go outside with a fork and pick up all the leaves like that? Okay,
Sure. Well, that makes sense.
why not?
You don't got a rake on hand. It's cool.
You know what's best. Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but sure. So yeah, I probably would have done it. And she goes into the oven and nothing really happens. But it's a very tense moment. You're expecting it, but it never comes.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
If I'm not mistaken myself, in the trailer, don't they show the oven being closed on her? So it's kind of like what do they call it, like a red herring, where they show you something and you think it's gonna happen because they kind of like tricked you in the trailer.
No, they did. She did close it. The second time she got in the oven. She got in the oven.
Yeah, so like they could, but you don't even think that there's gonna be a second scene
Yeah.
with it at that point. So you're just like ready for it to happen, and that's one of those where it like gets you real tense. The heart starts beating a little fast.
Yeah.
And then it's just like over, and you're just like, man, I guess that's not gonna happen.
You think that's a callback to the Hansel and Gretel story?
100%, 100%. You got the old lady in the kitchen, but the Hansel and Gretel, doesn't the old lady get pushed in? That's
The
how
old
kids get
lady
away.
goes in the oven.
Yeah.
But it's a play on that same thing because, you know, it's in Hansel and Gretel, she's trying to eat the kid, right?
And the grandma's just feeding the kids sweets. Nothing but sweets the whole time they're there.
Also, Hansel and Gretel. That's a good callback.
Yeah.
Also, Red Riding Hood because the wolf is pretending to be your grandmother.
A lot of callbacks to like the old like original movies. I
Yeah.
think M. Night's kind of good at that kind of stuff.
There's definitely a lot of like lore you could trace back on this movie.
As much as like it's like a smart film and like does stuff like that, it also like, do you know have you seen like Get Out?
Uh-huh.
So like Get Out, like every little thing like you see in the movie kind of calls back to something eventually. And I felt like in this movie I was very much like looking for every single little detail to have a meaning, and then like a lot of it just like didn't ever come back, and you're just like the cigarette scene, and you're just like, why did they do that? Like, made no sense.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, also though, there was a lot picked up mostly through dialogue, though. Most of it's like small things in the dialogue. But so after this, she does the interview. Doesn't she try to like loosen her up, ask her some bullshit questions?
Yeah, I think she's asked.
What's your favorite animal you would be?
Yeah.
And she said grizzly bear, which I was kind of like, what?
She said grizzly bear?
Yeah, she said a grizzly bear.
Yeah, she does say like a really strong animal. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay.
Throw like grizzly in front of it, especially. That's very specific.
Yeah.
Because like I would say bear, but I wouldn't think like polar bear.
Right.
Because I'm kind of pasty.
Brown bear.
I'm kind of pissed.
No, but so then she finally, the whole point of the interview is to ask about her mom, right? She wants to know about her mom's childhood and all this stuff. And immediately, I can't remember because she interviews her a couple of times, and each time she reacts differently. It's always something creepy and like random as shit what the old lady does.
Yes.
I don't remember what she did the first time. All I got is that she spazzed out.
The first time she just spazzes out, like she doesn't do anything like.
Starts pulling on her hair.
Yeah, she just like kind of freaks out. It's not like the second time she does something very pointed.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Pointed. I don't know that word. So good. That's a good word. Anyways, so the interview stops, and
speaking of interview styles, like it's not like she buttered her up with those questions, but there wasn't like build up like how was mom when she was younger. It was just immediately like, what did mom do in the most traumatic moment of her life?
On the last day before she left.
Forever.
Oh, I did catch it, but you don't think about it. Like there was no like cookie cutter questions.
It was just
she went
immediate.
straight like 60 minutes. Like where are the bodies?
Yes. So the spaz out like kind of made sense to me. It was just like, oh, like that was probably a traumatic experience for her. Like that makes sense why she's having this crazy reaction, and she's over here crawling in the middle of the night. Like she's not stable.
And so at this point, that's when Tyler's gonna try to set up a camera in the living room because he's like, I want to see what this lady's doing at night. While we're upstairs in the room, and Becca brings up, I have filming integrity, sir, which is ridiculous, bro.
Shout out to Tyler once again for thinking ahead of the game.
Yeah, but you don't have integrity when you asking these questions first. You're not trying to be, like just the way you. Come on, come on, M. Night.
Like she says, she doesn't want to film them unbeknownst to them, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
But like, aren't they already doing that low key? Like they're filming their entire house, so.
It's already invasion of privacy, is what we're saying.
Yeah. But anyway, so Becca shuts that idea down. And so the kids wake up again at night after 10 o'clock. So there's like this 9:30 thing. For some reason, that's like clockwork. At 9:30, stuff starts to happen. And they're hearing noises. It sounds like somebody running outside their doorway. And so they go and check out the hallway. They open the door. And the grandmother's like, has her hands behind her back. And she's like doing this Naruto run, right? Back and forth.
Yeah. Just gets in it. Like she's like hard stop, just like sprint, stop, sprint back. It was.
And they're just kind of watching this for a minute, and eventually she goes back like into a dark hallway. And if anybody's seen Paranormal Activity, you know what happens in the dark hallways. All of a sudden, grandmother's crawling straight towards them, doing this hard ass bear crawl right towards the damn door. And the kids just slam the door and lock it. And they again kind of just look at each other and go like, that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always call this like that scare tactic, like the bow and arrow, because like the bow and arrow, you pull it back. So like the grandma's running, and then she kind of disappears. And you pull it back and she shoots right at you and just like gets you like, so you kind of like get on edge a little bit. Then you're just like, nah, like maybe she's gone. And then boom, they get you right then. And I kind of love those because those get me like every time, dude.
Yeah.
They're kind of like playing with it. They're setting it up. You know it's going to come. You just don't know specifically when. You can't time it, right?
Yeah.
So you can't predict it.
And also that the thing that they did that was really smart, I think, for the movie was they kept on looking at the clock. So you think that it's kind of like some, at 9:44 or whatever, some exact time, like the paranormal thing. So that kind of throws you off the scent of what the problem really is with the grandparents. Mm-hmm. At least for me, because I was just thinking, aliens, demons, I don't know what yet, but it's something.
I was just always wondering, what the hell is the grandpa doing? Is he just like knocked out?
Would you stay up?
I mean, if my wife was running around the house having some crazy scene, I would definitely go fetch my wife.
Every night, though, I feel like
in a
after
row.
like the first month, I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sleep in here. I'm going to lock the door. You can do whatever you want. Crazy shit out there. We can save our marriage, but you're gonna stay out there that night. I ain't gonna deal with this.
My girl literally just showed me this like TikTok of a couple that posts videos of the wife sleepwalks.
I've seen
And
that.
so the husband's like laying in bed and the wife's kind of in the bedroom, like playing on the floor with shit, like doing puzzles, all types of random stuff she's doing in her sleep. And the husband's just kind of in bed, mostly just ignoring her. Every now and then he looks over and he's kind of like covers his head, like, what the hell is she doing? And I think that's probably, imagine that's probably what this guy's been going through, times 50.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
now that you mentioned that, I mean, I guess it would make sense to answer my own question. You don't wake people up when they're sleepwalking because it's
You kind of just let it play out.
you just let it play out. So I guess now I can understand why he's not getting her.
Especially if it's a deal breaker if it's like you meet the girl and like she starts walking around at night. But if you're married for like 30 years, something like that, and then that person that you're with and you love for all this time, all of a sudden starts like doing this at night, you kind of got to deal with it. And by dealing with it, you just got to go to sleep.
So if your girl just started like sleepwalking, man, you'd be cool with it?
Like 20 years from now.
20 years from now, bro. Haven't you been together for
5 years. 5 years is a long time. But
So 5 years isn't enough?
if she's scratching up the damn doors, dude, I have to paint. You know how much painting that is, dude? If she's pawing at the doors like a cat, nah, dude. Like we're gonna go to some specialists first, and if we can't figure it out, I don't know how it's gonna go.
I'm just gonna start popping Xanax before you go. Just start dropping Xanax in your drink at night.
Shit.
Man, that would be terrifying, bro. She all of a sudden just starts like, imagine if she does verbatim what this lady in this movie does, just starts sprinting.
Just puking everywhere.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
God.
I'd be like, you gotta clean that up in the morning. Like I know
Yeah.
you've been up all night, but
Just roll over.
I can't just wake up and do this every day, baby. Come on.
Man. Imagine if your chick just like sleep cooked.
Ooh,
that'd be
that'd be
great.
nice.
That'd be perfect, bro.
Just wake up to bacon.
Until she burns that house down.
Yeah, until she doesn't go back playing with puzzles on the floor in front of the TV.
Until she walks over your bed and just drops like a frying pan full of oil on you in
Oh
your sleep.
fuck!
Ooh, nah. See, sleepwalking's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Deal
deal
breaker.
breaker.
We'd definitely be like in different rooms and not have like a lock on my door.
yeah.
Yeah, my shit would be bolted with 3 different locks. That I'm not dealing with
The
it.
kids would be in a safe room. I'd be in a safe room. You get the whole house. You can do whatever you want. We're just gonna unplug the oven.
Just put a GPS tracker on you. You'll be all right.
So after this scene, seeing the grandmother crawl, they all go on a walk. The kids once again brush this off, like, you know what? This is our life now. Jesus, take the wheel. And they go on a walk the next morning with your grandparents. And the little brother, he's like, they're behind the grandparents a good distance.
At this point, hadn't the doctor stopped by?
Not yet.
The
I
fifth
think
one?
I take it back. He did, but I bring it up later because it was like such a minuscule conversation
Okay,
that I didn't
yeah.
think it was worthy of mentioning.
So we'll pair them together. You got it. You got it.
So the brother starts mocking the way the grandmother was like running through the house with her hands behind her back, and he's all like doing this gallop and shit.
I thought that was hilarious.
And the grandma ends up turning around while he's doing it, and the sister gives him no notice whatsoever, which I feel like was a dick move.
Oh yeah, dude. But I guess grandma, does she really know how she runs when she's asleep?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna ask you guys. Do you think she knew what he was doing?
I think grandpa knew. Grandpa probably wasn't happy.
But they never bring it up. But you think that would kind of piss him off, Ryan?
Yeah.
I'd be mad, dude. I'd be like, what, this little dude talking shit on my wife? His grandmother?
About her dementia.
I know, man. He got his ass whooped in the woods.
In the woods.
Ain't no one watching.
And also at this point, they show the grandparents like looking into a well.
I like this. I like this part because at first I thought it was pointless. I just thought it was so pointless that they had that scene, and then at the end there, it made a little more sense to me.
So maybe at the end you'll be able to explain it to me because I never understood the point of
Oh,
the
for
well.
real? Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Because at the last, no, I'm not going to talk about what happens, but in the last 10 minutes, like 5 minutes, they throw out like 30 things at you that just like, oh, like rapid fire, like random
Yeah.
facts.
There's like 100 things of exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying that they don't like kind of slow roll it, but I get it.
And so right after this part, the kids are, where the hell are they, bro? Are they in the attic? Are they in the barn? Because Becca sets Tyler up for an interview. So this is the first time he's like in like a selected scene. And by the way, this bitch picks some fucking fire backgrounds.
Yeah, the barn was nice.
The
For
barn
no
and where
animals.
she ends up, but the next one is even better, bro, with the road behind her.
Yeah,
but
I
we're not
love
gonna
that
we're not
one.
there yet. So she's asking Tyler, and once again, what you said, she doesn't ask like casual questions. She's like, "So how do you feel about our dad walking out on us forever?" And
Just like a lead off.
Just straight.
that's the first go-to question, bro. And he's like, "I'm okay with it." Like all, he's really is the word jovial.
Jovial.
He's real, cavalier about it. Real like it happened. He just went and did his own thing, which seems like a healthy reaction to me at that age, even.
It felt healthy, but it also really felt like I have all of my emotions behind
Bottled
my
up.
eyes
Yeah.
and bottled up, and I don't want to say them.
But do you want a kid that like just starts instantly bawling at the mention of it?
I don't want him to bawl, but I want him to be like real about it. He needs to have that real life, because if you're not being honest about it, then you're gonna eventually have a little psychotic breakdown. Probably.
Yeah, he was definitely pushing it back. It messed with. I think that part was sad for me when he said that. Like, no, that's fine.
Because she was prodding at him, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure? Are you for real?" Because he walked out fast.
I liked his. I think this was the scene where he talks about his football.
Yeah, because she asked him for. He brings up a story, right?
Yeah.
Because it's real random the way he brings it up.
She said, "Convince me that you're okay. Convince me that it was fine."
And then he tells this story. He was like, I was doing Pee Wee football, at the time. I don't know how old he was. I can't remember how he said.
He was like 8. He was a free safety back there, and he was the last guy to protect the end zone. And their big, huge running back broke the line and broke through the hole, and he just froze up and just couldn't move.
He missed an important tackle.
And he just couldn't move, and then he thinks that, and then he kind of correlates it in some way to his dad leaving, but it wasn't even like the year his dad left. It was like later on.
He said after that his dad came, patted him on the shoulder, and left. Didn't
Yeah.
say nothing.
Dude, so my dad is like a lot of the times like my coach, and like
He was my coach once too, and it was awful.
he was rough, dude. And the worst part, like getting coached, like and running all that stuff, like that's fine. But the worst part is when you just like had like a tough game, and then you had to ride home with your dad. It was just like, man, he was he was just like make you feel so bad like on the ride home, because you messed something up, and you like would just like ruin the game. And
Bro, I went to one practice with this dude's dad, and I said, "Fuck this, bro."
Chris wasn't a runner before that.
I was not conditioned. This is like at the age of 8.
This was soccer too, and
This
you weren't
was-
ever a soccer person.
This was young, dude. I remember it was like, when the fuck are we gonna touch a ball, Theo?
Never
We're not
played
even
again.
wearing cleats or shin guards. What are we doing out here,
We're just
man?
running.
This is running. This is track and field,
Right.
sir. But no, so yeah, my dad was always cool. My dad was real mellow, bro. He didn't dig in. Like, cause I played a lot of basketball when I was growing up, and my dad was always real. When I had a rough game, bro, I was always fucked up about it. I fucked myself up about it. So he always kind of saw that, because like I remember there was games where I cried afterwards. I was that upset about if I had a poor performance, and my dad was always really good about kind of just letting whatever happened sink in. He didn't double down.
Yeah, my dad was like the type where he's like, "Why are you mad about this? You weren't practicing on Monday, shooting around. You weren't out there on Tuesday getting ready for the game. Why are you gonna be upset about this after?" I'm like, "Damn, like we just lost. It's cool. Like I'm supposed to be mad about it. Like I could have won it still without that."
My dad definitely won the lottery and never came back. So, yeah, he just left one day. So I never. I had my mom. My mom was there. My uncle, and they were always big supporters. Never, like you said, you had a rough day. I'd fuck myself up more about it, and they'd be like, "Hey, let's go out and get some Sonic or something."
So they're real positive reinforcers.
Yeah, they're just like,
Yeah, I didn't have that with sports. Everything else in life was cool, but sports was like, nope, like you messed up.
I still remember when your his dad coached like a quinceañera we had to do one time.
Oh man, even like a
That was
dance.
hardcore, bro.
Like other quinceañeras, they're doing like 4 steps. We had like 3 dances. We were doing like a waltz.
And his dad is real blunt, bro. You sucked. He didn't say it in that way, but that's how it felt in my like teenage mind. That was awful, bro. He's like Chef Ramsay, bro. Like Gordon Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen.
God.
That's this dude's dad, like in terms of direction. He's a real.
And there was like 6, like there's like maybe 12 couples that do in the dance. So if you messed up, stop, Chris. Can you do that right next time? And you'd be like in front of everybody, like, yeah, I'll try better.
Sorry.
His dad's a cool dude, bro. I love his dad. My
But when
Theo's
he's
fucking
coaching-
awesome, bro. But in terms of like when he's giving direction, man, the dude's just real stern and blunt.
Deal.
Love you, Theo Fred. But anyway, so he brings up this football story. He correlates it to that. And we're full. That's questionable. I might need to look into that. Fuck it. This whole next part's just going to be like a picture of us.
Cool.
So,
Tight.
Hopefully,
Anyways.
you got my good side.
right. So, so now the kids go back to the well and they're putting a bucket in the water. And they bring the water up and it's nothing, right? It's just dirty ass water.
Dirty water,
Dirty.
dude. Dirty.
It looked like piss to me, so I thought maybe it was like a sewage line or some shit. But no, evidently, like I said, you guys are gonna tell me what the fuck it is.
I thought there was blood in it when they first pulled it up. It was like so kind of red, but it's just mud.
And after this is when we were talking about when Becca does her interview on the fucking country road, bro, and it's beautiful.
Ooh, perfect lighting. Somehow the light's behind her, but there's no shadows on her face. Oh man, it was like one of the most like beautiful like interview shots I've seen in a while.
Yes, I was like, mother of God, this chick really is gonna be like Scorsese of documentaries.
I'll tell you, she's got a bright future ahead of her.
And at this point, Tyler, he brings up finally like, listen, you whore, you ask these wildly ass questions right off the get go. Why don't you look at yourself in mirrors?
Oh, he went hard on
Yeah,
it.
he went
He
hard.
went deep, bro. He went for the jugular. And I noticed she did do that because there's a scene earlier when she's like editing because the computer's right in front of a mirror. And she kind of looks up at him and she's kind of looking away real quick, like if not trying to stare at herself.
Yeah, then there's before that is her brushing her teeth, and she's just like standing completely turned around from the mirror.
Because he says like she brushes her hair with like her back towards the mirrors and stuff. She never looks at herself. And I know why she did it, but can you guys like give a summary of why she does it again? Maybe you can do it better than I can because I feel like I do it half-assedly.
Why she doesn't look in the mirror?
Yeah.
It's all their whole trauma that they kind of put back on the kids is always going to be back to when their father left, so that she's just like kind of ashamed of herself for that her dad left and that she doesn't want it, so she thinks that she sees herself as the problem, so she can't look in the mirror, which is I think the summary of it, which kind of shaky, but
So she kind of blames herself for it.
yes.
I was just gonna say maybe she thought, teenage girl, I'm ugly. No boyfriend. She didn't have no two dudes on her phone when she was on the way. It was Tyler was the pimp. She was just kind of, not getting no action or nothing.
So she was just ashamed that she had
She's just ashamed of her body.
I mean,
She caught the ugly, bro.
Yeah.
look at the ugly.
And he also points out that her sweater's inside out at this moment, bro, which is savage as fuck. Like, we're on camera right now, and your sweater is inside out, you dumbass.
I mean, if you spent your whole fucking life not looking at a mirror, you're gonna put some shit on backwards every once in a while.
Bro, I look in mirrors and I put shit on backwards sometimes.
Backwards, like straight up.
Yeah, dude, no, like inside out. Like, I've gone to work before with my shirt inside out, and like the emblem and shit is like backwards, and nobody comments on it, which is frustrating to me.
There's like name tags, like the back of it's just like fuzz.
Yeah, and you see like the part of the arms where the sleeves are. It's like that part that sticks out, and it's like, how has nobody pointed this out to me?
He's like, man, Chris had a rough morning.
Something, dude.
Just let him live.
And so Becca admits that later it's a different scene of her holding the camera to her face, and she's like, my dad gave me a card when he left.
A fucking card.
Yeah.
You gotta leave at that point, dude. What you getting a card for? They ain't gonna help.
I would have thrown the card away. Props to saving the card, but
Did she save the card? Did she say she did?
I can't remember if she kept it. I just know that the next scene is her with like home videos of like her dad in the background, and she's like, just so you know, you're gonna be nowhere near this fucking documentary, bro.
and it's in the documentary.
Like, you just see kind of the silhouette of him in the background, right?
Yeah,
You can make out his face though.
you can. You make out features.
But yeah, she does that just to spite old dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, just so you know, you'll be nowhere near this. And so Tyler starts to float the idea about checking out the basement. because he, sees something's off. And Becca's like, no, we're not going to the basement. And after this part, that's when you've been talking about a woman shows up to the house looking for the grandparents. And it's the second person, because the first one was some guy in a suit. And they're from, I guess, the building they went to go visit.
Yeah, so the first person that comes says he was a doctor at the hospital, which he just says hospital, still very vague about it. But the second lady that comes, she says she was a patient, and she explains that it was a psychiatric hospital, and that she's coming to visit the grandparents because they had been counseling. And she mentions all of the drama that's going on at the psych ward. She's like, they haven't been around for that. They were supposed to show up. And they both make it clear that the grandparents have kind of been MIA from their volunteer positions.
Ah, okay. So you explained that way better than I could, because that whole thing just melted in my brain. So this is the part where you started to get an idea of what was happening.
Yeah, so there's obviously something wrong at the psych ward, and then there's obviously they've been missing. So that kind of put my brain to, well, they somehow talked to the mom and made her feel comfortable enough to send the kids. And so at some point, the grandparents are normal enough to be able to have this volunteer position and be okay. And then recently they're not showing up. So something's wrong with them. Maybe they got possessed now, or maybe something happened like really recently, and because they haven't been always crazy. So that really just like put me on alert to like a whole bunch of different like options of what could have been going on.
I kind of played it off because they said that they weren't seen since Saturday. Kids arrived on Monday. So I figured Saturday came, Sunday, whatever, Monday, the grandkids are there, they're taking time off.
So you had a really practical thought about it as it was going down. You were like, makes sense to me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Oh, you call in from work though, like you call in and say, I'm not going to show up today. It's not just not going to show up, especially old people. Old people, I feel like have an obligation to tell people where they are, because if they don't answer the phone for like 30 minutes, you're like, I think they're dead.
Yeah.
You know? If you're old, you got to check in with people every once in a while.
You're responsible to everybody to let us know you haven't died yet.
Right.
For real.
I like that summary, bro. So the next scene, Becca's hearing music in the house and she's laughing and shit real loud. And as Becca's approaching, she's kind of explaining like, yo, we're about to see grandma's favorite TV shows her and mom used to watch together. Ooh. And she walks into the living room and the grandma's in a rocking chair pointed directly at a wall, just fucking cackling, bro. That's the book definition of what cackling is, fellas. And once again, for me, hair stood up on my goddamn arms.
Yeah.
For some reason, a rocking chair with someone in it just going back and forth like violently, like, because rocking like normal is fine, but if someone's going back and forth real quick, more faster than they should, especially if it's an old person, that kills me, dude. That scares the shit out of me. Like rocking chairs, like do like the Conjuring, I think had the scene where the witch was in there holding Annabelle in the rocking chair when they open up the room, and she's fucking do, not going slow. That shit stuck with me. I see that in my nightmares.
Listen, rocking chairs in general, you shouldn't have one in your house.
No. They fucking rock when nobody's in them, and they're just, it's like a little, I feel like that's just a portal to ghosts, you know? Ghosts see that, and they're like, oh, rocking chair.
And to be honest, they're not that comfortable.
No.
Most of them are like wooden. They don't really have too much cushion on them, and you're sitting straight on something like, it's not it. Rocking chairs aren't it.
Mm-mm.
But at this point in the movie is when I was like, full possession, shit's going down.
You've solved it.
Yeah.
In your mind, you're like,
Yeah.
I know what's
I
happening.
was like, this is possessions. All right.
Wrote a little fucking post-it note.
Yeah.
Predictions. Got this.
Yeah, at this point, though, is when my girl guessed exactly what was happening. Like, she just, like, she's like, this is it. She'd never seen the movie. She never even, like, seen the trailer for it. And she was like, told me exactly what it was. I was like, oh, like, you think so? So that's, I don't want to take credit for, like, getting the idea. Because I was still in possession, kind of. But after she said that, I was like, oh, you're probably right. Like, all that adds up to make sense. So this is, like, the end.
So, like, this is kind of off subject, but my favorite thing in the world, bro, is showing people movies. It's something I inherited from my dad. Like, when we get together, bro, my dad loves just putting on some random movie that he knows people haven't seen. So for me, part of doing this, part of the cathartic experience is, allowing you guys to do the same thing. Like going into a movie blind, like for me is like, oh, I get to show them this movie. And to hear like you watch it with your girl, whenever I watch it with my other boys, bro, and they're like, oh yeah, me and my girl watched it, me and this dude watched it. I don't know if you watched it alone or not.
No, I watched it with my girl actually.
Yeah. So to me, that's like a cool thing to like be like to put people on movies, and I'm like always curious, like, all right, what did you guys think of it? So like, how'd they feel about it?
See, my girl, she hates scary movies. Like, she is...
Like, hates them as in scared of them, or she just doesn't fuck with them?
Like, she gets super scared, and she doesn't like how she gets super scared because, like, most of the time when she watches scary movies, like, we avoid them because she has trouble sleeping afterwards. Like, and she never has trouble sleeping, and she's just, like, super, super scared like that. Like, she's someone who, if it's an emotional movie, she's gonna cry. If it's like a scary movie, like where like there's like a slasher film, she's screaming at the TV. She's very like visceral in like how she reacts to stuff. So like these movies like kind of stick with her. This one didn't though for some reason because I think that the premise was just kind of like a little ridiculous and like maybe didn't stick with her the way some like paranormal activity kind of movie would be, where it's like, oh, this could happen to me in my house.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that my girl does not like scary movies because we'll watch a scary movie, she'll be fine, and then when it starts to get down, I'm gonna go to sleep.
When it
And
starts to
just
get
passes
down.
out and just goes right to bed. And I'm like, every time, any movie we watch, once it starts to hit the fan,
Your girl's
I'm gonna go
Mexican, right?
yeah.
I think that's the Mexican thing because mine does the same thing. Mine is like, yeah, let's fucking watch movies, bro. And then like about 3/4 of the way into it, hey, I'm gonna go to bed. Just tell me how it ends, all right?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, okay, I guess.
Right when shit starts to get crazy, it's like, all right, I'm out. Like, oh, thanks.
But no, so I was just curious about that. So okay, so now
So in the rocking chair scene, that's what we were talking about.
I can't remember, bro, what the grandma says because she walks up on the grandma, and me personally, dude, I hate awkward moments. I'd have been like, you know what, we're gonna leave you there.
Yeah.
Grandma's doing her thing. Let's.
I believe the grandma mentioned that she has the darkness and cackling, laughing about it keeps the darkness away.
Look at the note I wrote.
It says cryptic emo stuff.
It says cryptic emo stuff.
But yeah, I do remember her saying the darkness, keeping the darkness away. That's some emo shit.
Yeah.
That's some 2007
Bro, I read this.
Chris stuff.
I heard this like YouTube meme recently. It was like one of my boys posted. It was a picture of penguins like walking down the stairs, and it says like me and the boys going to the principal's office after asking the emo chick if she gets jealous of her phone when it dies.
Damn.
That's all I think of. But nah, so yeah, so she was just saying some very. I didn't really pick up on what she said. Just kind of seemed like it kind of seemed like emo, just random stuff.
Yeah, and this is like a point where the movie really, really just picks up in like the craziness of everything that happens, and it's kind of like all scary movies have that point where everything is built up, like for the first hour or so, or however long they want to do it, and then the roller coaster goes down for the whole like rest of the 30 minutes of like, this is insane, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely where it picks up because immediately after this scene, Becca runs to go talk to the grandpa, and she runs into the shed or the barn or the stables, whatever the fuck it is, and she walks in on him with this shotgun in his mouth,
Just deep throwing the shotgun barrel.
and as soon as she notices him, he like goes, "I was just cleaning it.
And picks the rag up off the ground.
I was cleaning it, super cleaning it."
This is like I put my tongue in the barrels to clean it. Like, come on.
All right.
And she kind of just, she obviously sees him with the gun in his mouth, so she's kind of like, you should go check on grandma, and then she kind of dips.
Which I thought was super, like, I guess I didn't get why his character was just sitting there with the gun in his mouth. Like, obviously there's something wrong with him, but like, it's just like, you got your plan, like, you're waiting until the weekend to get after these kids, like, I don't know why he was sitting there just ready to die today at that point.
He was tired of his wife's shit. That's what it was.
The sleepwalking?
The sleepwalking.
The sleep
He was
deprivation
tired of
just
that
makes you
shit.
crazy, dude.
Something, man. I don't know. I think that was it was a shock scene.
It was.
Purely a shock scene. It was kind of just to make you go like, and it worked, obviously, because you see it, it's like, oh shit.
I thought he was going to pull it.
You thought so?
I thought she was going to be like, hey, Grandpa. And he was, wow. And just
Oh, that would have got me, dude.
brains out the back. Like, oh, shit.
That would have got me. I would have been freaked out because then you wouldn't even know when the movie was going to.
Yeah.
If Grandpa does that.
But yeah, I think the whole point of that was just to show, just to surprise you, just to show that they're not in the right state of mind, even more so than we already thought. And so after this, finally, Becca's like, you know what, Tyler, fuck, what's the word? And fuck filming integrity. We're gonna put out this camera and we're gonna see what's happening at night.
I feel like that should have just been we gotta go.
Yeah.
That one should have been we gotta go. Now let's put out a camera and stay another night. Because that lock didn't look. I always like look at the lock on their bedroom door that they're staying in. Didn't look that strong.
Just
You know, like some locks are built into the doors. This was just one of those little sliders that was just like kind of screwed in. Like I ain't trying to stay in that house another night.
Yeah, because it's literally like a stick of gum, right? Like a metal stick of gum. It looks like.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. And Grandpa has a shotgun. We didn't know this before.
Yeah, where'd the gun come from?
Yeah, if you're gonna put it in your mouth, you might put it in anything.
They do never bring the gun out again.
Yeah, for real. He was just hanging in the shed.
But no, so after this point, they've put the camera up in the living room, and we get this scene of Tyler flipping out about not having any tissue in the restroom to clean his hands, and Becca has to like scrub his hands for him. And I think that's just them kind of reinforcing the idea that he's a germaphobe still. Kind of like, hey, remember, this kid, he doesn't like germs, just so you see.
Yeah, because the whole like middle part of the movie, they just like completely ignored the germaphobe part.
Yeah.
And so then they was like, we have to bring this back somehow. Because I completely forgot about the germaphobe part, and I thought that something was actually on him that we couldn't see.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, there's something, like he's about to get eaten by something.
He definitely goes into like crackhead mode of like, it's there. I don't see it, but it's there.
I thought they were about to wake up the next day and he's just gonna be acting like the grandparents or something like that. My mind jumped to that kind of.
You're like, the parasites got him.
I was like, they got him. Becca, you got to get out. Leave your brother.
And so while this is happening, we go to the living room camera. And we see the grandma walking into the living room, and she's like slamming a door, a closet door. We don't know where the door leads to, just over and over. Pop, pop, pop. And then she kind of walks off camera. And then she pops up directly in front of the camera and like screams into it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
growls.
just like a loud, really loud.
And I'm not going to lie, dude. I jumped like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that part got me too. When things just pop up on the scene, it always gets me.
It's the music.
Yeah.
It's definitely the dun.
Yeah, they throw you like a lot of sound at you. Like, I don't remember though when she. Do you see that she crawls under where the camera was?
No, she literally just walks off screen.
And then she comes back under the camera?
Yes. She
Yeah,
pops up on, because it's like on a mantle, I think.
Because it definitely got me too. And just another gripe about like the found footage kind of thing is when she jumps up on it, she grabs the camera and comes and like runs and goes and grabs a knife. And then like also runs up the stairs and drops the camera right in front of the door. And then she like has like a perfect framing of herself in front of the door with the knife as she goes up there. And that part was just like, you can't just throw a camera on the ground and have a perfect view like that. It bothered me.
That's somebody else said that for a found footage movie. Some dude was like, "How does it fall on the perfect angle?" I'm like, "Because if it doesn't fall on the perfect angle, we're just staring at a wall, bro."
Right.
That's why it happens, sir.
Like, I get it, but man, come on. Just give me, like, I don't know. I just have a gripe with found footage, I guess.
Grandma's got to have some 20/20 vision to see the camera in the dark behind the things that were on the counter.
Hey, where do you think Becca got this filmed eye for the filmography from, bro?
Shit.
Something, man. So she's, like you said, she's standing outside the kids' door with a knife, like, twisting on the knob. Does she bang on the door, too?
I thought she stabbed the door, but I'm not sure.
I think she just twists the knob because the kids, they show them they wake up.
They're, like, reacting to the knob moving.
But I don't think they know what's going on because they don't really show a huge sense of urgency to get out of there. Because I feel like if it was banging on the door, they would have been a little more scared.
So they ignore it this night. And then they do review the footage. And I don't see how once you see the footage, bro, that's it.
You're gone. I'll leave. I'm walking down the road, hitchhiking.
Yeah, they're playing outside with them.
Just like mom.
Because the next day they're just playing outside by themselves and they're scared to be inside. And like you can walk down that road and just be like, hey, like neighbor, like, can you call the police or something for me? Like,
I like this part when, because they grab a ball and they're like, look like you're playing. And he just has a ball he's throwing up in the air and pretending to drop it and shit.
Spin around.
And Grandpa's just like, oh, they're playing with the ball. Like, he just like, doesn't blink an eye to it.
She's like, Tyler, do cartwheels. More cartwheels, Tyler. Look like you're having fun, bro.
Yeah, that part's crazy. So at this point, it's Friday, right?
Yeah, because now they're trying to Skype their mom, right?
Yes.
And she just says, we got to keep our distance from them until tomorrow. And she said something about, I need the elixir, though, before we leave, which is a really weird fucking choice of words.
Oh, yeah. I was like, did I miss like a
elixir,
tangent that was
dude.
talking about like a fucking like...
I thought of, you guys have seen Waterboy, right? You know the part at the end when he has the Eskimo water?
Yeah.
That's what I thought she was looking for, is like some Eskimo water, bro. Like an elixir.
Yeah, I pictured a vial. Anytime I hear elixir, there's a vial.
Because I played a lot of Skyrim, bro. Skyrim, that's what one of the potions was called, as an elixir. And I was like, obviously, like you said, a vial.
I definitely went back to my RuneScape days when I heard that. And I was like,
elixir.
what are we looking for here?
I was like, did I
Banish
miss the
the
scene,
demons?
bro? Like, what's going on?
Right. Are they trying to open up the portal to fight the Daedra, bro? What's going down? So Becca decides at this point to interview the grandpa. And this was kind of random, actually, because she was just talking about how they don't need to be anywhere near them.
Yeah.
And grandpa talks about a factory job where he saw something. He worked the nights at the factory. And he saw something white with yellow eyes running around. And that the job fired him after that. And Becca's like, oh, we never heard about that. And he's like, oh, because that happened after your mother left. And that was just a random little thing to throw out there. I don't think that ever adds up to anything. I know he brings it up later, but it didn't. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, that whole tangent doesn't have like an actual wrap up. I think it's just kind of to show that he's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And that's probably what actually happened to him and how he lost his job and how he...
I was just like, possession. There's a demon he saw at the job that's chasing him around. I'm still on possession for this whole movie. And it threw me. I ain't gonna lie. The movie threw me at the end. I was like, what the fuck? Because I was thinking possession.
I was
like
hard on possession for a while, dude. But then...
darkness, yellow eyes, like, oh, fuck.
And she also asked the grandpa during this interview why he doesn't just visit, and he doesn't answer. But that leads me to believe at this point she's still willing to like get to know them, right?
Yeah,
like there's still like some hope there.
I wrote down in my notes, I said that on Thursday and going into Friday, everything that happens with the grandparents is weird, but still there is some kind of explainability to it all. Mm-hmm. So like even the first thing that I would say argue that isn't explainable, that is kind of like out there, is when the grandma grabs a knife on the door. But also you can also say like she was sleepwalking and just being like, she felt threatened and just like got scared and grabbed the knife.
I would say the biggest red flags are when the grandpa assaulted the guy outside the school and when he has the shotgun in his mouth. Because that's pointed to something violent that could actually cause harm to you at some point.
Yeah.
Even the grandma with the knife, though. But at the same time, it's like, it's a grandma, bro. It's an old lady. Yeah. Like, what's she going to do with that knife?
The shotgun in the mouth was definitely like a big, big, big red flag.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd got out of there then. But it's all still like plausible. Like he's crazy. You already know he has dementia. He's dressing up for parties that aren't even happening.
And so after this part is when the kids see that the woman who visited the house earlier has returned, and she's actually talking to the grandparents now. And she looks upset. She's kind of pointing at him a lot, pointing behind her a lot. And you see the grandparents kind of motion for her, like, no, come this way. And she follows them somewhere. And at this moment, isn't that when the kids decide...
Have they Skyped the mom yet?
I think that's when they Skype the mom. At this point, they're like, okay, while they're out of the house, let's talk to mom real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is where...
when they figure it out.
Or does it happen later on?
Oh, no, that's later on.
Okay, go ahead.
Because Tyler mentions, like, later on, he's like, I didn't see her leave.
Dude, that was, like, such a, like, obvious, like...
Yeah.
He was like, she's obviously dead somewhere.
100%. He's like, hey, this lady totally just came over and didn't leave.
Right.
Where did she go, bro?
He's like, she's dead, Tyler. That's what happened. You're in a horror movie, bud.
And so at this point, Becca tries to interview the grandma again. And grandma starts talking about some like wily ass sci-fi fan fiction story.
Ooh, yeah, that was creepy.
And
I went back to Aliens when I heard that. I was like, ooh, I knew it, Aliens.
Bro, they're out in a farm, dog. It's possible.
Yeah.
But no, and Becca's like, all right. So she tries to bring up the mom again. This is the part where you said where her reaction is very pointed.
Yeah.
Because she starts like I think like ticking her head back and forth.
I think she does that. Then she starts smacking herself like square in the forehead, super hard, over and over and over.
And then Becca catches it this time though, and she's like, all right, hold on. And she starts framing her question as a story, which I thought was smart. And kind of to disassociate the grandmother from this actual event so the reaction wouldn't be as powerful.
Uh-huh.
And that's when she kind of answers it, right? Doesn't she actually like go along with it? She's like, what if there was a girl who left the house and she had a fight, she hasn't seen her parents, and what would you say to this girl or whatever? And that's when the grandma's like, I would tell her I'm sorry or something.
Yeah, she said I'd want to see her or something very similar to that.
I forgive her and stuff.
And then Becca later says like, that's the elixir.
Yeah.
Which is a stretch, bro.
I'm just
To call that an elixir. So elixir, define elixir. It's something to heal or to fix, right? Is that a safe thing for elixir?
Yeah,
A
it's
cure.
a cure, a medicine.
So she thinks that like something's wrong with her mom. She thinks this mom needs this elixir, right? That's what that's what her definition of this is. Mm-hmm. She thinks she can repair her mom, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Think you pair your mom after a while.
This is a big stretch. Like I feel like they didn't need all that. But then again, I guess that's the whole point of the documentary, right?
Yeah, that's the whole reason that the kids wanted to go out there is to kind of like fix their mom in a lot of different ways.
Okay, so I kind of see that. So, but that's, I guess, defining what the elixir was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I guess they're kind of playing on like the kids like are probably a little naive and they think that just like an apology on camera will make their mom realize that she can see her parents and something like that.
Yeah. So it's after this point is when the kids Skype with the mom while the grandparents are outside.
And they finally fixed they finally got all the grease off the camera, so
They managed to fix the camera. And the mom, like you said, it's Friday. This is her first day back from the trip. They're not supposed to get picked up till Saturday. But they call and Becca's like, you need to come now. And at first the mom is like, don't you know that's going to put all types of wear and shit on my car?
Dude, if your kids say you got to come now,
You gotta go.
You got to go.
And they're trying to explain it to her, but the words aren't quite doing it. So they end up taking the camera to the window like, here, look, they're acting really strange. And it's at this point we get the twist, the big reveal. And the mom hams it up. She goes, kids, I don't know what to tell you. And it's literally like it takes 30 seconds for her to get the words out.
That part pissed me off so fucking much, dude. You got to say that shit direct quick, dude.
Like as soon as the camera's at the window, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's got to be get out that house, kids. You've been staying with some random old people, dude. Like you got to say that pointed, get out the house, call 911, do whatever you got to do, but you got to do it quick.
Yeah, man. Because, I mean, bro, like, she's literally like, oh my God. What? Kids. What? Listen to me. That's more or less what she does, right?
Yeah, it's so much. She's like, sit down because you're not going to believe this. She didn't say that. But
And just like we're doing to you right now, audience, that's not their fucking grandparents, all right? They're, as we've been kind of alluding to, obviously, those are strangers. This woman doesn't know who these old people that her kids have been living with are.
It's a crazy reveal because a lot of times reveals come in this like super climactic way in the worst moment when a villain is explaining their motives and all this and kind of gives you the twist. But you're kind of just sliding in the movie at this point down that like roller coaster of craziness. And as soon as she says that's not that they're your grandparents, you just know immediately things are going to hit the fan. So I really just love that reveal, apart from the way she said it, because they're just building up that tension. But as soon as she mentions that this is not their grandparents, you know shit is going to hit the fan immediately.
So you didn't see the twist coming at all?
At that point,
you said your girl had already pointed it out,
she pointed it out, and I knew that when they got the camera fixed, because they kept on talking about the camera. So at that point, I was just like, okay, I think it's not their grandparents, but I don't know what it is about the grandparents. It's not them.
Yeah.
But when they show them out the window, I was just like, okay, I obviously know this is going to go this way.
When the mom said that wasn't her grandparents, I literally was like, "Oh shit!" out loud. I was like, "Oh shit!"
So you had no clue that was coming?
No clue. And then I felt bad for the mom because your kids are telling you to come. You literally put your kids on a train to go however long to get there, and now your kids are just seconds away from a stranger, and there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you could do. Except another stupid thing that she does is she immediately doesn't call 911. She calls the police station directly, and she's like, "Oh, no one picked up. I might as well get in the car."
Yeah.
And that's a callback to what you were saying when they're pointing at buildings, right? Is
Yeah.
that they said the story they made about a guy at the police station who's never at his desk to do his job.
Yeah, they say that like really early on, and then it comes out to be true,
Yeah.
which not good for the people of this small town.
Right.
So the mom tells him, like, you guys just got to get away. Run somewhere, run to a neighbor. But the kids get cut off by the grandparents in the house. And I think they actually played this pretty smart.
Yes.
Rather than, flip out. There's an awkward pause when the grandparents are like, how about we play a board game? And the grandma's like, and you can help me clean. And the kids pause for a second, but they end up just going along with it.
Dude, this part is also like the grandpa's whole demeanor changes. So
Yeah.
the kids are trying to play it off like they don't know
But
to the
he's-
grandparents.
He's
But
definitely gotten more aggressive.
Grandpa comes in walking like have you seen Willy Wonka, like the original one with the I forget his name, but he comes in doing like some hokey ass little knee, like touching his knees to his like chest, jumping around. He has a Yahtzee like dice out. He's shaking them really crazily. Like he's a completely different like demeanor right after this point.
What's the word? He's really charismatic. Whereas opposed to his entire demeanor has been pretty like I said, he reminds me of fucking Liam Neeson. Just real casual, real cool, real calm. But now all of a sudden he's zany. Zany's the word.
Zany's a good word for it.
He's real zany, all energetic and like colorful and stuff. And they agree to do this. That's my fridge.
Do you hear that?
It sounds like the teeth chatter from Hellraiser. That's what
Yeah.
I always picture, bro. Like, there's definitely somebody in my kitchen right now just fucking. Toot. So now they're trying to find an excuse to film outside, and for some reason it never works out. They keep saying, "Hey, we're gonna get some shots of the house outside, all right?" But something keeps coming up every time that stops them.
That really annoyed me too. I'm like, there's doors, there's windows, there is every single opportunity you have to get out the house, and they should cut like 3 hours later, like they're still there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, kids, get out the house.
And also at this moment, the kids are in the kitchen, and this is another time when the grandmother's like, "Hey, I need you to," she words it very specifically, "get in this oven and clean it." And Tyler's like, he even mentions like, what does he say? Is he like, "How about we don't?" Or does he say, "I could do it"?
He's like, Becca, don't do it.
Yeah, he was totally against the idea.
And Becca's like, no, it's cool. I've done this before once. It's fine. And so she gets in the oven, and this time she gets, the full body inside, and the grandmother shuts it. And once she shut it, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because she's even inside the oven like, hey, Grandma, can you let me out, please? She's really calm about it, which is more than I would have done. Because like I said, I would do just about anything an older person asked me to do out of respect at that age. But there's a certain line when you're like, what the fuck, yo?
Yeah.
Once that door closes behind you and you realize it's locked and you can't kick out, I'm not that calm, dude. I'm gonna be flailing. I'm gonna be trying to kick it as hard as possible, like 1,000 times, dude. At that point, and especially when you know it's not your grandparents, I'm flailing. I'm freaking out at this point.
Yeah,
I'm losing
for
my
sure.
head.
It's definitely fight or flight at that point.
Yeah.
And she was actually smart. She played it smarter than both of us would have.
At this point, at what point do you think that the grandparents know that they know? Do you think that the grandma and grandpa, the fake grandma and grandpa, know that the kids are aware at this point? Because I think they do know. But I think the kids are trying to play it off, but I think that the grandparents know that they know.
I think once they found the camera, I would say.
Once they found the camera, like...
When the grandma found the camera and she grabs a knife and she's like...
Do you think she was conscious for that, though?
No, but I think that by the fact that... Or who knows, actually. I don't understand how the state of mind works in that
And then she puts it
situation.
exactly back in the same spot.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Did she even put it back? I thought it was still on the floor.
No, she put it right back where it went. And I was gonna mention something, but like you said, I don't know the mindset. Like, if you're not awake, how you know that that's there? How do you know?
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
So I guess I just don't know at what point that the grandparents knew exactly that they know that they're not the grandparents. Not that something was weird or something was up, but that they didn't know who the grandparents were, which is like kind of like fucked me a lot about that movie.
Yeah. Like I said, that would be my guess as to when they caught on. Or maybe when she caught the grandpa with the shotgun in his mouth. Or there's a lot of times. I don't know. I think progressively, the way this just like... the way it progressed, I think this is about right. Because it's the night before they leave. So it's just been building and building. And obviously what I'm about to say, she gets in the oven. She gets let out of the oven after a minute. Nothing really comes of the moment. And the kids, again, are trying to go outside. They're like, all right, we're going to go outside and get some shots at the house. And they open the door, and the woman that visited earlier is hanging from a tree.
Yes.
Bro. It's at that point, I think, where the grandparents were, like, not trying to hide anything whatsoever.
That was exactly like, then. But also, really, really made me question this kid's awareness.
Like, how do you not notice a body hanging outside?
How do you not hear the struggle of a lady getting strung up by these two old people that, like, is probably, like, not, she doesn't go willingly, dude. And then she's been hanging in this tree for probably the whole afternoon. You didn't look out the back window, not once, dude.
Nobody walked by a window and went, huh, this is a bright house. They kept their windows open. Like, here I've got the excuse of my blinds are closed.
Yeah, they would have seen like, come on, you got to look out the back window and be like, huh, that's strange. This lady, how you know?
Yeah. I wasn't there before.
And and then the next shot is the grandpa just slamming the door shut, and he goes, "It's Yahtzee time."
Yeah.
He's like hopping around. He's like Tom Cruise on Oprah's couch in that fucking from that old ass clip. Like, he's just doing way too much at this point for me.
I think, like you said, this might be the part maybe where he's going a little far.
Yeah.
But I mean, it fits the narrative of what he's supposed to be at this point. Like, the mask is coming off, the facade is fading.
Yes.
And so while they're playing Yahtzee, this is when the grandpa's cracks really start to show. Both of them, actually. Because like you had said earlier, I feel like this whole scene is kind of painting of like a picture of what it would have been like in the mental institution.
Yeah.
Because, like, the grandpa is like, I'm a master of Yahtzee. I never lose. Real confident. And the grandmother says something like, you're not a master. It takes 10 years. Like, this real, like, random, awkward exchange. Like, that's what it would have been like.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being the worker that, like, you're kind of some kind of CNA. You're not making that much money. And you had to go play Yahtzee with this motherfucker, like 3 times a week. And he's just, like, fucking dancing around the room just trying to kill you. You're just like, all right. Like, I don't want to play Yahtzee today, dude. I'd get a new job.
I don't see how the only thing that kind of shatters my believability of this moment is that if they're this crazy, I don't see how they held it together for 5 days. Like, I feel like this would have been something you'd have noticed from the get-go if they like let it all out this quickly.
Yeah, I thought so too, dude.
They wouldn't have been able to bottle that shit up for as long as they did if it was actually this bad.
They did a good job.
Because they did some like next level like espionage, like Russian covert spy thing, pretending to be these loving grandparents for that first couple days.
They did that, and like they also learned a lot about the grandparents and like the situation. They absorbed a lot. They, for their state of like what they're showing on this Friday of them like just being a complete nut jobs. Like, they did a good job. They put a nice little plan together. I wonder if they had like a little like like a manifesto or something that they like a rule book they playing by.
Dude.
They're definitely smart for being in a psychic ward. They definitely had shit planned out, and they were like on key with it. I don't know.
Yeah, they started to lose, like when he started putting his mouth on shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also at this point, so Grandpa's getting hyped playing this Yahtzee game, and Becca's like, you know what? I gotta charge the battery, or I gotta get a new battery for my camera. She's like, Tyler, you wait here. And I can't remember what she does. Then she look at him a couple times and goes, wait here. Keep playing. Or something like to distract him, right? Isn't that what she's implying?
I think she means to distract him, but
she goes to the basement.
That makes me so mad, dude. How are you going to leave your
little
brother
brother, bro.
at the table with dude just like doing cartwheels around with old dude just like doing cartwheels around the table playing Yahtzee, just like looking a mess.
Remember, because this is the part where the grandpa just shits himself right next to old dude. You just hear his stomach go.
Oh my god.
I could have done so much without the poop scenes, dude.
Oh.
When I heard that, I was like, did he poop?
And then he just gets up and walks away like, excuse me.
He changes right in the kitchen. He just drops his pants.
No, that's later on.
Wait,
You don't
and
know where
before
he-
that, and before that even, doesn't the grandma go like dead faced? And that's when the grandpa goes, "Oh, it must be after 9:30."
She gets struck with the munchies so bad. I've never seen somebody eat cookies.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about
as
that.
fast as she did.
The grandpa walks away, and while he walks away, the grandma just starts shoveling cookies into her mouth.
Yes.
And she like turns towards the camera and she like opens her mouth really wide. And if I was the kid, bro, I mean, that's terrifying.
I'm shitting my pants at that time.
Because he even yells out, he's like, "Becca."
Yeah, he's yelling for his sis. That point, I think you take the opportunity to take out grandma. If it was me, I'm throwing a right hand just across the table at grandma, dude.
Yeah, so at this point, we go to Becca looking in the basement. And she sees all of like pictures and stuff of her grandparents, right?
Yeah, it's all like thrown like in this like bin.
All their old belongings and shit.
Yeah, it's all in this like bin in the back, and there's like blankets and stuff under it. And she looks under it, and obviously there's two dead bodies just sitting there. Who are the grandparents? And also, can you just like put a body in the basement for a week and it not just stank?
Nah, dude, it'd be terrible.
Like you'd smell that even on the third floor. I feel like, right?
Like, yeah, because if a mouse dies in your house, bro, it takes up the entire smell of the section of the house it's died in.
Yeah, like
So-
Two dead
big ass
bodies.
people.
Yeah.
2 giant bodies, bro. That'll fuck up the entire like whole area of the house, bro.
You got to burn the house down maybe after that too.
And she finds a hammer with blood on it, so you assume they got bashed to death with hammers, which is pretty cruel.
Yeah, another thing, like right after that, she puts the hammer just back down. Like, I don't need this. This isn't going to come in handy.
Definitely would have kept the hammer.
Like, that pissed me off. I was like, keep the hammer, girl. You got a chance with the hammer.
And doesn't she get cornered by the grandpa?
Yeah, she immediately starts doing like a manifesto. She's like, my name is Becca, whatever the last name is. I am here at this house. If you find this, and then you hear grandpa coming.
And doesn't she get like, she plays this cat and mouse with him for a second, but she ends up getting grabbed, right?
Yeah, because you can't just really maneuver. It was like, I think all the lights are off in the basement too. And so she just had the camera light, which every found footage thing, they're always hiding with the camera, and there's like a little light. And like,
At that point, why are you still holding the camera though?
if it's dark and you have a light on your thing, they can see that, dude. Come on.
Like, I feel like at this point, the realism is lost to me because you put that camera down.
Immediately.
Like,
book it.
you've seen the bodies. All right, it's all documented. Now you're looking at the grandpa. You need all your limbs for whatever's about to go down.
That camera's flying at grandpa.
Yeah.
Like,
That is a weapon.
it's anything you can hold is a weapon.
But doesn't she give like you were talking about that, right? She gives like a testimony or whatever
Yeah.
into the camera. So I guess that was the point of it. In case if you find this, sees the grandpa.
And he's just like saying wacky stuff the whole time, right? He's just kind of like saying like, because I remember him. I don't know if it's at this point, but he's like starts screaming. He's like, "We're all gonna die tonight." And he's like,
What
"Okay,
if he just?
grandpa."
You keep comparing him to Willy Wonka, bro. What if he just sang the fucking Willy Wonka song,
the song or the part where they're like in like the
Chocolate Land?
the chocolate river, and he's just like screaming.
Come with me, and we'll be. He does the imagination song. That one. That'd
Oh,
be
the part
tight.
where he's like, "And there is no clue where we're going," you know, like that part.
Yeah,
of Willy
yeah.
Wonka. Like, that's what he reminds me of, dude. He's just like crazy, like
It's Gene Wilder, right?
yeah, like every like part of Willy Wonka, from the part where he like falls and like just hops up after the cartwheel. That's a grandpa, dude. He's just doing too much. And
Or hell, bro, just the grandpa in that movie.
oh,
Grandpa
yeah.
Joe. Grandpa Joe was exactly like that.
Man, fuck Grandpa Joe. You can't walk, and then you get to go to a factory. Oh, I'm gonna get out of bed. I can walk today.
Oh, so we got the golden ticket. I'm good.
Hey, but no, so Becca gets drug up to a room, and they pass Tyler's body. Not body, but he's unconscious on the floor. He's got like a mark on his forehead.
Yeah.
So he's been struck.
He's been. I mean, there's like a little red. There's some redness. I was expecting there should have been like a gash or something to put me down for that long with murderous old people in the room.
I mean, he's 12, bro.
I mean, come on, dude. You know you can bounce back when you're 12 when you hurt
It's true.
yourself.
And so Becca gets tossed into a room, and you're not aware of which room it is at first. At first, you think it's like, oh, he threw her back in her bedroom. But then she turns around, and oh, it's the grandparents' room. And we haven't seen the grandma yet, so you're just like, all right, she's in there somewhere.
You see the lock on that door? A big old square bolted lock. Right when she went in and turned around.
It was much bigger than the kids' room lock.
Yeah,
Dude.
it was
a different
huge
kind of lock.
So you think maybe the grandpa locks himself in that room?
I'd lock the door. If she was out there doing that every night, dude, I'm locking the door. But also, like, it doesn't make sense why the lock's there because the grandpa doesn't actually live there.
That's
I had
true.
lived there for a little while.
Yeah.
But it is cool because if it's the first time you see their room at all, and then you see, like, it's huge. Like, there's, like, a lot of space. There's the old, like, bed with the old, like, pillars on the
You
side.
really looked the house up on fucking Zillow, didn't you,
Dude,
bro?
it was a nice house, dude.
This dude explained the layout.
I was
The
like,
ceiling
damn.
was nice and
Yeah,
ranch
there's a-
styled.
They got the fucking fireplace in there, dude. In the bedroom?
The bed, they
Boy.
had that like the posts on all the corners and shit.
Yeah, it was a nice little room. The
nice
fireplace in the room was like what did it for me. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice touch. Boy.
You didn't make it until you have a fireplace in your room. Once you have a fireplace in your room, you can officially say you made it.
That's
Made
true. But no, so and then after this part, this is when it's getting fun because Tyler gets taken into the kitchen, and the grandpa sits like the camera on the counter, so you just see Tyler's back, and the grandpa like walks up to him, and he whispers in his ear. He's kind of just making small talk, but then he whispers in Tyler's ear. He's like, "I never liked you."
I
Yeah.
love that, dude. It was great.
And then you see the grandpa like take a couple steps back, and he goes behind the counter to where you can see him, but you can't make out his like below his waist. And then you see him start to look like he's undressing. He's pulling his pants down. And at this point, what did you guys think was going to happen when he did that?
I knew he was getting the poop diaper out, but I didn't know like I didn't know that he was going to use it as a tool. It's a tool, if I guess you would call that.
I thought Tyler was going to be molested.
Yeah, that's what I said out loud. I remember this scene from the first time I watched it. This is my like memory. Everything that happens in this kitchen from here on is what I think of when I refer to this movie in my head. And I remember thinking when I saw this part, I was like, he's gonna fuck that kid.
Yeah.
He was definitely not ever going to do that.
Bro, that was in my head
Yeah.
instantly, bro. He's undressing and he's putting the kid in the corner. Like, bro, he's gonna touch this little boy.
Yeah.
He would have done it already. There would have been signs. There would have been some like build up to him being like a fucking pervert, dude. Like, no.
I don't know, man. I just
Yeah.
assume little boys and an old man. That's it.
I knew the poop was coming. I didn't know that the poop was going on his face. I could have done without the whole
I
poop
gagged.
subplot. I said that from the get. That was it was unnecessary. They could have gone.
We're
for
not there
anything
yet.
else.
We're not there yet. We're getting there, friend. We're getting to this journey.
It's unnecessary.
Because the camera cuts to Becca finding Grandma standing in the corner of the bedroom. This is like as Grandpa's taking his pants off, so we don't see yet what he does. And the grandma starts like crawling under the bed, and she's doing her cackling laugh. Again, this woman has the cackle down.
It's a great cackle.
And she's like reaching her arm on top of the bed, like from under. Like it's great imagery, bro. Like that's a terrifying picture.
Yeah, there's this scene where she's coming out from under the bed and like just like her face comes out like with the sheet. It's like someone's like like the alien giving birth, like in the
Yeah, you see like the silhouette of a body going
Yeah.
up in the blankets and rising.
Yeah, it was really cool shots. And it's like just dark enough in the room to not really know what's going on, but also you can see like the grandma's hands and stuff. It's a really cool like just how they did it. And
It's very
colorized it.
cool just picture.
Yeah.
And they're flashing back and forth between this and the kitchen scene. So down in the kitchen, we realize, like you said, Grandpa has taken his diaper off, in fact. Tyler, his butthole is untainted. He's fine.
There's no molestation in this movie.
No molestation.
Thank God. I might have turned it off.
There's no kid banging. And so then you see he puts something on the counter, and you don't know what it is at first. I didn't. But you see the grandpa's put his pants back on. Thank God. And he starts to approach Tyler, and then you make out, oh, he's got one of his diapers. And he says something before he does it. I can't remember.
He says,
You're a germaphobe, ain't you?
yes.
You're a germaphobe, ain't you? Pie in the fucking face. It's not a pie. It's shit. He put shit all over this kid's face.
Oh,
and he mashes it, and Tyler doesn't react at all. He's just arms down at his side, it's taking the shit all over his
he's
face.
just frozen. He's just having an image of him on the football field again, not being able to move.
Yeah, it's a great callback to that part, but it's unnecessary, man. We didn't got to put poop on no one's face in anything. That is unnecessary.
Definitely has pink eye.
Oh, he's definitely got pink. He's got pink face, bro.
He's got pink face.
Everything.
And them
like,
diapers, if you remember how the diapers had looked, it's not just a little shit. It's just massive shit in your face.
it's a grown man poop, dude. That just like comes out and just doesn't get the space to fully just like drop like a poop should. It just spreads out as soon as it comes on the pants.
It's like
dude, you know?
a bad grandpa.
Like it's just a mess, and it's just on this kid's face. And at this point, I'm just like, man, what are we watching?
I'm gagging at this point. I'm throwing
Like,
up.
what a twist, right? Like, who would have thunk we'd be here at this position, guys? We're watching an old man smear shit on a little boy's face.
Oh.
And I'm grateful to have witnessed it with you guys. And so we go back to the bedroom scene. And now Becca is like we've alluded to earlier. We get the scene where the grandmother rises with the sheets over her head. So now she's like walking around with the sheet over her body, like a ghost costume. And Becca decides to turn around and stare at a mirror. And she looks at herself, right? Mm-hmm. And as she's looking into the mirror, we can see the grandmother approaching behind her with the sheet over her head still, right? And was there any significance to herself staring at herself in the mirror at this point? Is it kind of her getting over her thing at that moment, you think?
I think it's a little bit of a callback, but it also is kind of messy and not really like a good callback.
Right, it doesn't really... I think that's what it's supposed to be, but it's definitely a reach.
I think she just knows that she's about to die. And she's just like, I got to face my fears. And I fear my reflection more than grandma, so.
Maybe.
But the whole like first part of the scene where she's there is like she keeps on panning and looking at the the tools that come with the fireplace. Like right there's always like the little poker and like the little brush and all that stuff. And I kept on like thinking that she was gonna grab that to use as a weapon against her grandma, but then she's just standing in front of a mirror and gets her head just pushed straight into it, bro. Like so easily, just sitting there like a lame duck. I was frustrated with these kids at this point, dude.
Yeah, but then, I mean, after she gets her head smashed into the mirror, she's, like, laying on the bed with, like, the grandma on top of her just assaulting her. I say assaulting because I can't really pick out what she was doing.
She's not really punching. She's not biting. She's just
It looks like she's doing all those things, but she's not actually doing any of them.
Yeah.
She's kind of just like a dog playing with you, right?
Yeah.
Like a dog really rough playing with you.
Yeah, because I think she's like supposed to still be asleep. So I don't really get if the grandma was in on the plot to murder them. And maybe that was just like the grandpa thing, because he was the killer and she was more just like a crazy person. But I don't know. And I don't know if they brought up the part of like why the grandma was in the mental institution at this point yet. Or is grandpa kind of tell that to the kid when they're downstairs?
They never say, I don't think.
No, they do say.
Grandpa tells to Tyler.
So yeah, you missed that part?
Yeah, like I said, I'm taking notes for a lot of this shit. So I'm trying to type like, kid has shit on his face, grandma has a blanket on her head. There's a lot I missed.
Shout out to Becca, though, getting her face smashed in the mirror and then quickly grabbing a piece of the mirror.
She grabs a shard of
It was
glass.
super quick, dude.
Yeah.
She was like, "Flop."
I didn't even know what happened because my girl was watching with me at this part, and I just hear like this stabbing sound. Everybody knows what the stabbing sound is, and you hear like kind of blood spilling. I don't know why you hear blood spilling, but you do. And I asked her, I was like, "Who got stabbed? What the fuck just happened?" She was like, "She grabbed a piece of that mirror that she threw her head into." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, she got it like really quick with the quickness on it.
And so yeah, so she, like I said, she turned into an assassin out of nowhere.
Yeah.
For sure. So I think they cut back to the grandpa right here, and he starts explaining why the grandma was in the mental institution in the first place. He's telling Tyler kind of their whole plan in a way like villains do at the end of movies. And he's like, I wanted to give her the week with her grandchildren that she never got because she drowned her kids.
No shit.
And she put her two babies in a suitcase and drowned them. Mm-hmm. And that's why she was in the institution. And that's why she was looking at the well and the water like that.
Yeah. And also, to go back to it, she was talking about the pond and the yellow eyes in the pond, and that you can breathe under the water. So when you go
And they're just giving that to because she was like saying that whole story, and she was like, they need lives under there for the aliens or whatever she was talking about.
So I believe that she took her kids to the pond, put her kids in the pond, thinking that whatever's down there is gonna live. Their kids are gonna live and be fine, and she drowned her own kids and fucking went crazy.
Huh. I typed 4 words, and Grandpa is monologuing. I completely, bro, just blanked out that entire exposition. That sounds important as fuck. Holy shit. Yo, as a researcher, I failed miserably.
Yeah, that part really ties it together.
I just put, he said words. Holy fuck. That's crazy, though. That changes everything. That's so much more story and everything to the grandparents and character development. Whoa.
I mean, if there is ever anything to distract you from paying attention to what someone's saying, is them rubbing shit in someone's face.
That's true. Like, it became background noise to me at that point. And but also at this point, we saw Becca break the lock in the bedroom upstairs. And as he's giving this, exposition that you guys were just talking about, he gets tackled by Becca, right?
Yeah, which is a poor, foresight, because you just had a weapon that you broke a door with to get for yourself. And then she, at some point, running downstairs, decided, you know what, I shouldn't use this giant weapon on Grandpa. I'm going to tackle him. Puts it down.
So she tries to, she does that movie trope. She's like, full-on sacrifice, bro. She tackles him, and she's like, run, go. And Tyler's frozen with shit on his face still.
Just shitty situation.
Yeah, and Becca gets overpowered, right? And the Grandpa's, standing over. And Tyler fucking just decides to, channel who's a good football player.
It's Khalil Mack. It's Khalil Mack right
He
here.
just turns into Khalil Mack. He just straight sacks the Grandpa, and Grandpa falls on the floor. And Tyler's about a third the size of the Grandpa, right? Which comes to what you've been talking about, which how strong is he really?
Grandpa?
Which, I mean, I guess this is, this is sus.
Grandpa is supposed to be strong, and then Tyler immediately, he doesn't have good form with the tackle. He just kind of, shove tackles him. Doesn't go down to the ground with them. Didn't wrap up. Definitely didn't wrap up. And just puts him on the ground, and Grandpa is out for the count. He just, isn't getting up.
I like how he paces after. Doesn't he hit him the first time, and he, takes a step back, and he, gives himself some running room, and he's, talking to himself, he's like, make sure you wrap up.
Yeah.
Don't freeze up.
Tyler's in straight practice mode at football now and is having flashbacks of his failed misery and is taking it out on Grandpa at this time.
And then he takes that fridge door and just goes to work.
Just
on
goes
Grandpa,
ham with the fridge door.
Just pop, 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 pop.
As he's yelling out football cliches.
Yes.
Wrap him up! Wrap him up! Isn't he?
Yeah, he's just yelling.
Playing her feet! As he's banging his head in the door, and Becca has to stop him. So we assume that he murks Grandpa here.
Yeah, he definitely killed him, dude.
And after she pulls him off, he's still gassed up, and he's like, any more bitch-ass people here?
Yeah, Tyler was definitely a beast, I believe.
Yeah, and after this, so while he's banging his head in the door, you can actually hear the police sirens getting closer. And they finally, pull up outside. The kids run outside. They see their mom with the cops. They're embracing. It's raining and shit, right?
Yeah. I was really ready for one of those grandma didn't actually get killed.
No, I thought the grandma was alive still, too.
And she was going to hit you right at you when you got to the steps. And she's going to have a weapon and pin him down and just, make it a little more dramatic. But they didn't do that.
Mm-mm. And there's a post-interview with the mom after this.
Before we get to that, can I just mention that, I'm really, I'd be like, man, my kids are, everything. I need to save my kid. But if my boy comes out covered in shit on his face, I don't know if we hugging that long.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said that to my girl whenever when the mom hugged him, she's, touching his head and shit. As soon as I smell it, I'm like, no, you get a distance hug.
Yeah.
We do handshakes.
He had poop on his head, and she was just, kissing him. I was like, no.
What about the police always being fashionably late?
So late. They waited for mom to get there and ride and rolled together.
What's going on there?
It took, from the time when the mom called first, it was daytime. It was like morning, maybe. It's probably like 11 a.m. and the cops show up at like 7.
Like 17 hours later.
Well, I mean, they do live on like a ranch.
Oh man, it's a poor response.
It'd probably be far from a police station, I would assume. Because, like, think about it, like, Wyandotte County Sheriff's Department compared to, like, the Legends. Like, it'd take a minute to get out there.
like 15 minutes.
Ideally. And that's, responding. Imagine you get that phone call, hey, my kids are at a farmhouse with 2 strangers. Like, there's not a lot of details that we have that they don't.
Oh, it's like
It's like a wellness check.
It's not a wellness check, dude. You gotta be like, my kids got kidnapped by 2 old people that I don't know. You got to go grab them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissed if I'm like, she's not trying hard enough to get people there.
And I'm suing the police department.
I'm calling the fire
not
department. The
answering.
police don't pick up. I'm calling anybody there.
National Guard.
Bro, I'm calling the Wingstop that's down the street.
I'm like, hey, dude, my kid's got kidnapped. You got to help him. Like, someone's gonna
Jimmy
be out
John's. Jimmy John's be there, super speedy fast.
there. Order him a sandwich. He's like, oh, there's someone hanging from the back door. Like, we should probably
Right.
call the cops.
You know, I'm starting to think that lady, because she was at the psychic ward, she was a patient there.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think that when she went there to check on the grandparents weren't there. She went back to the psych ward to see maybe if the grandparents might be there. And that's when they're like, hey, these 2 people escaped. And she's like, oh, shit, they're at their house. And that's when she goes back.
I don't think
twice,
she
right?
knew.
Did
I don't
go
think
twice?
she knew because she mentioned the first time all the craziness going down at the psych ward. So I think that she was aware that something had gone down, but I just think that.
I think she pulls up and she's like, I don't know who these 2 people are. What are you doing here?
But I think she also probably knew who they were from being at the psych ward.
You think so?
Yeah, so she's like, you guys, what are you doing here? Like, you guys can't be here.
You guys need to go back. And they're like, nah, come, let's
This is
I
all-
think is that.
This is all speculation. We don't know any about this part.
Yeah, and also, I'm mad at the cops or whoever's in charge of the psych ward. Like, you have to know this dude's capable of murder. You have to know that they are close with these old people because they counsel them. They talk all the time. They had pictures, remember? A picture together they
Yeah.
found in the basement.
And now they're not there.
And they disappear. And then all of a sudden, those 2 people stop showing up to volunteer.
Come on.
You got to
now.
do some detective work, dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
You think, it would be cool if the movie had done like some foreshadowing with that part, like maybe some news bulletins or something in the paper or some type of posted sign about escaped inmates. But if they did that, that'd give it away.
Yeah.
That'd have been a dead
That's
ringer.
true.
So they couldn't put that out there.
Yeah, the twist couldn't have happened.
The
if they
kids
put
still
anything
would have
like that.
stayed and tried to make it work.
Yeah. But I think us at the audience would have seen it. But
That's
no.
crazy.
So there's the post interview with the mom. And so we get, the big secret is that she got into an argument with her parents. She slapped her mom. Her dad slapped her. And that's it.
She left. Typical white person thing.
Right.
Once your parents hit you, you run away because they don't love you no more.
But then again, that is kind of a big deal for you to hit your mom.
Yeah, I'm a man, obviously, so hitting your mom is like, as a man, is very different. But like, if you punch your mom, you probably don't want to go back home and just face the music.
Yeah. That'd definitely be uncomfortable.
I was really let down. I think that was the biggest disappointment in the movie was the big reveal of the secret.
I think that was part of so I really wanted the movie to end right after that because it's kind of like a really morbid, like good way to end it. It was like, oh, this didn't have to happen. All I needed to do was just kind of own up and tell you guys this, and none of this would have happened. So I really, really hoped that it would just cut to black right there, but then obviously we didn't and got.
We got the post-credit scene where the credits are rolling and it's a little title card and it says, like, my brother insisted that I include this in the end of the movie. And it's her brother doing a rap. And Becca's in the background looking in the mirror, brushing her hair or some shit. Mm-hmm. So another callback to that. And the brother's rap is pretty much about what they went through. And one of the bars, I wrote some of his bars. He said, I got a diaper shoved into my face for half an hour. I used 2 whole dive bars to wash my face. Just goofy shit like that. But that's how the movie ends, and that's the visit. So, overall, what did you guys think? How'd you guys like it?
I liked it. I liked it. It was good. It had good plots through it, and it played through, and it keeps you guessing. You're on the edge of your seat, wondering for so long, what's really going on, what's happening, and then the twist to it. I mean, I mean, it had me. It had me. I thought it was possession the whole way, and it threw me for a loop right at the end. So I like when movies do that, because I like to. When I'm watching the movie, I like to go ahead and be like, "Oh, this is happening. This is what happened, and this is why it happened and stuff." And then for that just to come around and twist plot like that, it really left me on laid back. Like, what?
See, for me, I thought that it was an awesome concept that was just like, it's like kind of like leaves you like wishing that someone else got their hands on it with a bigger budget, because I think that this was like a super cool concept, very original, and it could have been like awesomely done, but it was just kind of piecemealed together. They tried to make things a little too deep that weren't so deep, and it really kind of made me feel disappointed that this movie wasn't better, because I really liked the concept, and the twist could have been like just earth shattering, I think, in different hands.
Do you think the style that it was made, found footage, was good for this movie, or do you think it needed to be like just a regular film?
Yeah, I think the found footage, when you do something like that, you like, it's like you're playing Madden. Like, you're not playing on all pro anymore. You turn it up to all Madden. Like, you're trying to do the shit on a higher degree of difficulty, and that can just bite you in the ass when you're trying to make a movie, I think.
I feel like you do found footage if you want to try to pretty much get away. It's a little bit, I'm not going to lie, it's lazy. Let's call it what it is. Right? Because you want to be able, you can, because any problems with it, you can go like, oh, it's supposed to look amateur. It's just being authentic. So that's kind of what that is. I don't know, man. I like this movie. I always liked it. I always have this theory that the key to a good movie for me is dependent on the strength of your villain and the strength of your protagonist. And for this one, I can't decide. How do you guys feel about them individually? How are the grandparents and the kids? Did you like them as characters? Did you feel they were strong characters, or?
I really liked the kids. I liked the background that they gave them, and I really liked the actors. Like, I'm surprised that with neither of those little kids have been popping up in, like, Stranger Things or other movies like that have given them a better role, because I thought they were super charismatic and fun to be around.
The girl was in a fire movie. I'll recommend you after this.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So I really liked their energy, and they were fun to be around. The grandparents, I thought, like I said it from the get, I thought they could have been replaced with someone better. And I thought that, like, their whole motivation scheme didn't really make sense in that grand of a way, that they're just gonna kill these two people and then pretend to be these kids' grandparents so they can just have 1 week of the grandma being happy.
So it seemed kind of like a soft reason.
Yeah, stretch.
I think the kids were great. The grandma role was, I liked grandma in there. Grandma was fucking terrifying. Yeah, grandpa could have been, a little different. I would have liked a couragely, cowardly dog grandpa in there.
Fucking like Willy Wonka grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it though. It was good. And horror movies now I seem like are kind of whack, and I don't really like them because they're so predictable. But this one was good.
Definitely leaves an impression.
Yeah.
For me, I like the kids. Like, I'm kind of wrestling in my head, like, whether or not I like them or not. And I do. They were funny. The dramatic parts, they sold to me. And for me, I like the grandparents. I like the grandparents because, like you said, they could have gotten better actors, maybe slightly more known actors, but that would have messed up the believability, because you want to believe that these are just two randos that walked out of a fucking psych ward. And that's what we got, pretty much.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, I think it kind of adds credence to what the director was going for, in the sense of these just look like everyday normal people. They're not supposed to be, polished.
Yeah.
So I think, I like them both. I think that's a big factor for me when I'm deciding whether or not I like a movie. That's kind of how I judge whether the protagonist is weak, they're too much of a Mary Sue, or whether or not the villain's too one-sided and one-dimensional. Like, you see both sides from the grandparents. Like, they're not just straight up evil, horrible people. They're dealing with mental illness. Huh. And that's a lot of what this movie's kind of putting a light on, I think.
I think so, especially giving you mental illness kind of in tiers. You get like the obviously crazy psych ward people, and then the kids and the mom who have gone through their own trauma in their own way and are having to deal with that. in front of these crazy people. So yeah, it's cool.
It is kind of a cool contrast now that you mentioned that, because the kids are dealing with their own mental issues on top of like the extremities that the grandparents are dealing with. The little boy, not the little boy, the brother, dealing with the whole not dealing with his dad issue. The daughter with not being able to look in the mirrors. So I mean, I think that's cool how they kind of like shadow each other a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But so. I don't know, man. Like, how scary do you think it was? I thought it was pretty scary, but like I said, that's specific to me.
I guess if you had to scale it, I would say it's on like the higher end, 7 or 8, because it had a lot of scenes that they had a good mix of jump scares, horror images of like the grandpa like holding the shotgun to his mouth. It's just like like that's just like something like you just like kind of see when you like close your eyes when you're scared. It was one of those things. Yeah. So they had a good mix of that and just completely built up like. Some horror movies do this really badly is like the dialogue tension and just like the knowing of like something is wrong without like playing like overly doing the music and just knowing like just because of what the characters are saying to each other and how they're saying it, that something is just uneasy in the background, and that really kind of sticks with you in a deeper way.
Yeah. I'd definitely give it a solid 7. I give it a 7 on the scale. Just old people frighten me though. And then you're dealing with mental issues and dementia. And, I give it a 7. It was one of the better ones that have came out.
I think that it's impressive and it shows the strength of the director in the sense that there's not a lot of graphicness in this movie. I mean, outside of the dude rubbing shit in the kid's face, there's not a lot of like stuff that makes you go like, it's not Hostile, it's not Saw. There's not blood and guts all over the place. There really wasn't a lot, bro. It was pretty much just picking creepy imagery. Most of it to do with the grandmother like crawling and stuff and dealing with her sundowning. And also to shed light on sundowning, bro. Who the hell knows anything about that? Like, that's crazy. That's so scary that's a real goddamn thing.
If anybody has grandparents with sundowning, definitely record it.
Record
it and educate.
Exploit the fuck out of it.
Just exploit it and just educate motherfuckers. This is what sundowning really is. This is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure they exaggerated the hell out of it for this movie. When I looked it up on, once again, Wikipedia, the symptoms are pretty much just that they're irritable and they're erratic. So they're not necessarily, they don't turn into like the creatures from The Descent like this lady did, but they get very, very, they can be aggressive, they can be erratic, kind of similar to what this lady did, but not to the extent that they showed.
I think there should be a movie with just a whole bunch of old people sundowning, just like in this movie, and just play it out.
And call it Sundown?
Yeah, just call it sundowning. Or the psych ward,
But no, so you guys already like scaled how scary it is, but I have my own scale that I do for this podcast.
All right.
I scale movies on a scale of 1 to 6 inches. Now, do you guys know why I do this?
Is that how far you jump out your seat?
No, but that's a good guess.
That's a good guess.
I respect that.
I'm guessing it's dirtier than that.
How dirtier?
Like shit in the face dirty or?
Like penis dirty.
See, no, I had somebody else guess one time. They're like, is that how far your like mouth drops is the inches? That was a good guess. And also you said how far you get out of the seats. And you see how I came to 1 to 6 inches is I Googled the length of the average taco. You sick fuck. Dirty me, bro. Dirty yourself, dog.
Say 6 inches, bro. I thought you was talking about something else.
Speak for yourself, man.
Hey, I'm taller. I'm taller than everybody here. Is what I'm saying.
All right, I'm going back into my show. Anyways, he said I'm taller than everyone here, bro. How dare you flex like that? You're lucky the camera's off.
I know,
bro. I would have stood up.
I was losing that battle.
No, but so yeah, scale of 1 to 6. What do you guys give it? The movie in general.
I give it a taco that has a bite and a half out of it. So I'm looking at 4.5 inches.
Ooh, all right. I see. I feel you.
I think I'm sticking around 4 too. 4 seems like a good amount of scary for this, because when you kind of scale it down from like the 10 to the 6, and you kind of got to make a little bit of concessions. I'll go with 4. It's not a 5 to me.
Yeah, because I feel like 3 means I'm indifferent to a movie. It means I'm not gonna rewatch it again, but I didn't hate it. And I think I'll go 4 with you guys, because 4, I did enjoy this movie. I would watch it again. And in my opinion, 5 means like nearly flawless, but there's one thing that stops it. 6 is you have no complaints.
Oh, definitely.
So I feel like 4 is a good spot for this.
I got a question for you. What movie would you rate a 6? 6 inches.
I'm a big fan of, like, I love found footage movies. So for me, like, the pinnacle of found footage is this movie called VHS 2.
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
I never heard of VHS.
VHS is just, you guys know what those are, right?
Break it down for the younger kids. What a VHS is besides like a LOL or.
We don't gotta do all that, bro.
Nah, but it's and you really are gonna have to do that at some point very soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But no, so you guys have never heard of the VHS series?
No.
There's 3 of them, and what it is, it's anthology style found footage supernatural films.
Okay.
I'm gonna check this out now.
And the first one is very much amateur, very guerrilla styled. I like it. I think it's dope. It has its shortcomings. But the second one, I feel, is, like I said, it's what I feel the pinnacle of what found footage movies are supposed to be. The production's a lot better. The stories are crazy as shit. I think there's like 5 short films. And like I said, they're all supernatural based found footage movies. Just different monsters, spirits, aliens, everything in them.
Oh shit.
Fire.
VHS series.
VHS. I got them on that fucking bookshelf.
I'm gonna put that in the notes real quick.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I would call a 6. What do you guys got? What are your favorites? What would you call like a 6 for you guys personally?
Dude, I'm personally not like a huge horror movie film like fan. Like I'm not like someone who's diving into like the sequels of movies like
Yeah.
that. But I guess for me, like I guess the generic one is one movie I just love. I'll watch over and over is Get Out. Like like that's one of my favorite like horror films. Maybe not so scary, but it just like kind of leaves you like with that like feeling of dread. It was kind of what I.
So you like movies that make you think?
I like movies that make you think and movies that kind of leave you feeling like hopeless in a way after you watch it.
You should watch this movie on. It's on something called Tubi. I think it's free. It's called The Lodge.
The Lodge.
It's very much so. That's what my last podcast was, and I explain how I appreciate those movies, but I don't like them, bro, because they're so like hardcore into the metaphors, and you're looking for imagery and stuff. It's very frustrating to dissect those type of movies, but I think that's something you would like.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like just like a popcorn, like where you just like get there and not pay attention, run to the bathroom real quick.
You definitely got to like be on your shit watching this motherfucker.
Present.
More of a slasher. For my favorite movies would be anything Rob Zombie directed with fucking Halloween. And just slasher movies where you're getting stabbed 28 times.
So you like the effects and like the actual image of horror.
But another one is 13 Ghosts really got to me for a very long time.
Bro, everybody our age, that's like the movie they go to. People that don't traditionally like watch scary movies even, they're like, bro, you got to do 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts got me when I was younger. That movie got me.
Everybody's always gassed up about that one. They always talk about the Jackal character, the one with the cage on their face. Have you seen 13 Ghosts?
Never seen it, man.
Ah, bro, I don't know if it holds up nowadays. That'd be fun. I haven't watched it since I was a kid because it scared me so bad.
Yeah, it was.
I think like every generation kind of has like a movie that maybe isn't like an all-timer, like it's not like on the Hall of Fame pantheon level, but then it's just one of those that it came out at the right time, so like we like all are super aware of that movie, because I have heard of 13 Ghosts, I just never seen it.
It's up there with like The Ring and shit. Like The Ring is one of those movies that's very much so a time period movie, I feel like, because when the box TVs, and it fit for that time period.
Yeah, The Ring was a good one. The Ring was a good
It may seem that because we used to have the TV that you had to like turn on the cable box and then turn on like the TV too.
And be on static mode for a second.
And it'd be on static, and every time you saw the static after seeing The Ring, you're just like, man, nah. You turn this off.
Yeah.
But nah, so I feel like we've done this movie justice today.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Not usually, but the last couple episodes I've had people on like plugging shit. You guys don't have anything, right?
I don't got nothing to plug.
Nothing to play?
Plug.
Like just a
Like I had a dude that has a Twitch channel. One guy has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah. Actually, matter of fact, I'll give myself a shout out right here. I live stream. You can catch me out on Call of Duty or Madden. It's Chipotle Son, and it's just spelled like Chipotle Son, but you capitalize the P-O-T because I'm a pothead, so it's Chipotle Son. You can catch me on Twitch and YouTube. Not really streaming much lately, but I will.
Yeah, get on there. You got the exposure here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you might catch him, all right? You never know.
Just add him and see if he's on, bro.
Yeah.
Just add him and see if he's doing it yet. But no, so make sure you guys check out Death Taco Podcast on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Death Taco Pod. Thank you, Nick, Calvin, for being here with me to talk about this movie. This has been the Death Taco Podcast.